Hello everyone, I'm doing the This Week in Stupid Extras this week with a guest. Jeff Holiday is joining me to talk about these very stupid things. How are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for inviting me.
That's okay. There's the standard sort of things that have happened this week that people looking at the screen can already tell what we're going to start talking about. But there's also a thing that you want to talk about with Jeff Holiday, with Trey Melvin. At the end, I did do a video on it earlier this week, which is why I want to talk about it as well. It's just got more amusing, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to wait till we've gone through the other stuff till we get to that. But I mean, it's silly YouTube drama almost at this point, but it is very funny and it's very interesting to see what he thinks. But anyway, so what do you make of Hillary Clinton's war on memes?
The war on memes. It's absolutely brilliant. The absolute complete misunderstanding of how meme culture works.
That's the only way to describe it, isn't it?
It really is. As soon as I saw that she even mentioned the all right and she said Pepe, I mean, it just those types of moments are so rare and they just happen so perfectly. And it's like handing a loaded gun to a crack addict. You know, like that is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Sorry, for people in the chat, sorry that This Week in Stupid isn't up yet. I had rendered it and uploaded it, and I was going to put it live and then put this live so you could watch it afterwards, directly afterwards. But there was a copyright claim on the fucking video. So I've had to take it down, I've had to edit out that thing, and it's currently re-rendering, and I thought, fuck it, it's already 8 o'clock. I'm just going to get on with it. And then the video, it will be up tonight. It'll be up probably in, I don't know, about an hour or something. But yeah, sorry everyone. But, right, so we've got an article, and again, this is just all stuff that I think that really shouldn't be happening. Just the idea of the Wall Street Journal writing a political article about Hillary Clinton taking on a cartoon frog in their own words. I mean, yeah, yeah. How is this not funny? Is there any way that this could be taken seriously?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, how do you fight a fucking cartoon?
You don't. That's literally the only way to fight mockery and satire is to just, shrug and go, fair enough, that's a fair point, and then carry on regardless.
Right.
Absolutely. You can't defeat someone mocking you. You just can't do it.
It's like the first rule of trolling on the internet.
Yes. Don't take the bait.
This is a sign of the times, though, because the internet has started to bleed over into real life so strongly that now even our presidential candidates in the United States of America are starting to be massively affected by trolling.
Oh, mate, it's actually incredible that, I mean, Hillary Clinton, like the woman who essentially represents the establishment. I mean, who in the mainstream isn't behind Hillary Clinton? Even like the old Republicans would probably prefer to see Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, literally, the media, the politicians, the businesses, the intelligentsia, everyone is. I mean, and the thing is, they don't seem to understand that that's the problem. That is the problem. That so many people in so many diverse positions of power, who should have so many different interests, can all find their interests satisfied in a single individual.
That's a dangerous situation to be in, and it's funny too because the response to that, the reaction from it, is the public at large, especially the world community at large that exists on the internet, sees these types of things, has access to this free flowing font of information, which is the internet, and that's why a lot of people categorically reject her in the body public. It's fascinating.
I really think that. I mean, I think there are many people obviously who can just literally say it's this issue or it's that issue, but I think for a lot of people there's just this kind of aura around her of just being the man,
Right.
And just like no, she literally represents everyone who is a bit of an asshole.
Oh yeah,
and so and so backing Donald Trump, even if Donald Trump is a catastrophe, it's just better than better than the whole system coming together in one person. It's better to see that not happen than have Donald Trump. And I really don't think they understand this. Probably because they're too close to it, you know. Probably because they don't spend a lot of time on the ground. I mean, how many press conferences has Hillary done in this entire election campaign?
Oh, very, very few. She's rejected so many interviews. She doesn't want to do press conferences. I mean, that could be any number of things. It could be the health thing, not to be too conspiratorial or anything.
Well, it's hardly a conspiracy, is it? I mean, you know, she does seem to have some health problems.
Did you see that video that she put last night about the explosion in New York, and she looked like she was stoned out of her gourd?
Yes, and she was like, I heard about the bombing, and everyone was like, oh, that's terrible. And Donald Trump said, I heard about the bombing, and everyone was like, Donald Trump claimed it was a bombing. Yeah, I guess he did, but I mean, so did Hillary. Don't you care? Of course you don't, because you're basically. I mean, Ben Shapiro complains about like fucking Breitbart being basically Trump's Pravda, but the mainstream media is Hillary's Pravda. So, you know, I can't exactly hate Breitbart for being the same as everyone else, but for just having a different champion.
At least there's another side being spoken.
Yeah.
You know, whether you like Breitbart or not, you know, at least there's something. Because not even Fox News is really conservative anymore.
It's they're just sort of like old Republican, aren't they? They're certainly not alt right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so let's have a quick look at this. So they start by saying Hillary's campaign has published a parody of Vox, the liberal news site for adults. No. Vox publishes parodies of Vox. Wall Street Journal. Just come on, let's be serious here. So they're talking specifically about this article, which again, this is Hillary Clinton's website. Shit, you probably can't see this, can you? I need to share my screen. Sorry, Joe.
No worries.
I've totally forgot.
Got it.
Got it?
Right.
Yeah, so this is on Hillary Clinton's website. Donald Trump, Pepe the Frog, and white supremacists. An explainer. That cartoon frog is more sinister than you might realise.
Oh my god. Oh,
now,
we have found the enemy, and it's a cartoon frog.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is how Alinsky wrote it out, man. He was like, look, just make the enemy ridiculous just by reporting on you. And they've done it. They've done it. Those crazy bastards have actually done it. They're gamergating the political election. That's what they're fucking doing. This is what we did in Gamergate, man. We just made it so that whatever they said was fucking stupid. And, you know, it just sounded stupid on the surface. And this is what the alt-right has done with fucking Hillary's campaign. This sort of meme jihad is just very impressive, I have to say. But, so yeah, going back to the Wall Street Journal one, I just love this so much. It seems that both Trump advisor Roger Stone and scion Donald Trump Jr. tweeted a meme, a picture of the slogan, the other day. It depicts, and the way they're typing all this out, the way they're laying this out, this is clearly received information. You know, this is received wisdom. They haven't found this out for themselves. It depicts a row of gun-toting, black-clad male bodies. In fact, we'll just get the picture. There we go. The
deplorables.
Yeah. Exactly. Just
that's brilliant.
it is genuinely hilarious.
Jesus.
So yeah, Elizabeth Chan explains all this, and it's stupid as all hell, right? Where literally Pepe is a cartoon frog who began his this is from this article, but I'll read this one. Pepe the cartoon frog, who began his internet life as an innocent meme, there is no such thing as an innocent meme, enjoyed by teenagers and pop stars alike. But in recent months, Pepe's been almost entirely co-opted by the white supremacists who call themselves the alt-right. They've decided to take back Pepe by adding swastikas and other symbols of anti-Semitism and white supremacy. We basically mixed Pepe in with Nazi propaganda, etc. We built that association. One prominent white supremacist told the Daily Beast, right? But this is the part where it gets interesting. That Beast story, which ran in May, and you know exactly where they're going to go with this, turns out to be more or less a complete troll job.
We got the reports in, and it's confirmed. This is a troll job.
The thing is, that is actually what the reports are confirming. It turns out that this whole thing, right, where they literally they're talking about like this is the bit where it's like we mixed in Pepe with Nazi propaganda, and where's the Jared Taylor Swift, which is just My God, this whole thing, it's layers of memes under memes. And these normies just do not get this at all, right? And this, according to an extensive investigation into memes by Jonah Bennett of the Daily Caller. Its main victim is author Olivia Nuzzi, but even she didn't get trolled as ridiculously as Mrs. Clinton's campaign did. The prominent white supremacist Chan describes as one Jared Taylor Swift. Now, Jared Taylor is a white supremacist.
Okay.
He runs, I think it's American Renaissance or something. And Taylor Swift is a pop star that I think Poll has appropriated to be their Aryan avatar in the real world in some way. Right. So when they contact someone who calls themselves Jared Taylor Swift, you know that person is not telling you anything serious.
No, that's magnificent. Oh my God.
Isn't it? I mean, I honestly, hats fucking off. This is the funniest trolling I have seen in a long, long time, right? They obviously knew even better to describe him as prominent. She called him an anonymous white nationalist who claims to be a 19-year-old in school someplace in the West Coast. He told Bennett those were those were lies. He is neither 19 nor on the West Coast. There is a white nationalist author called Jared Taylor. He wouldn't describe him as prominent, and then Taylor Swift, a 26-year-old pop star, is definitely prominent. So this is where it's come from, right? And he says to Bennett, "I think the most ridiculous thing is that a random guy on the internet who trolled a journalist once is now a prominent white supremacist. I mean, the only accurate part of that is the white part." Swift told the Daily Caller News Foundation, "And my Italian ancestry means that even that's disputed. Basically, I interspersed various nuggets of truth and exaggerated a lot of things, and sometimes outright lied, in the interest of making a journalist believe that online Trump supporters are largely a group of meme jihadis who use a cartoon frog to push Nazi propaganda because this is funny to me." Well, honestly, bravo, because that's
Yes.
that is funny to a lot of people.
Well done, well done. I love how the language they use in this article is amazing too.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about like their investigation, like they're talking
Like,
about
it's serious.
like isolated little groups of meme cells, you know. Jesus. Wait for the sign and then release the Pepes.
Oh God, the RSC chats will come out and be like, right, what can we do with a Pepe today? We can launch it into the fucking trade center or something. Basically, there is nothing true about this, and they reported it. Literally, this is all from this, right? And then, obviously, from the investigation. So, Newsy based her stories on interviews with Jared Taylor Swift and another anonymous white nationalist, Paul Town. I'm actually familiar with that guy. I think he hates me because I'm not a white nationalist. But I think he is part of the alt-right. He is actually legit alt-right. Who estimated the broad hashtag frog Twitter movement. I can't.
I've never seen that fucking hashtag.
Oh, man, that's if anyone wants to talk to us during the stream, use hashtag frog Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm just gonna tweet that out now.
I'm dying. Oh my God. Whew.
What is this? How is all of this real? Why are people talking about this? But apparently the Frog Twitter movement consisted of about 30 people and 10 core members who helped plot it out over drinks in late 2015. So this is a bunch of friends shitposting on the internet at best. If there's any truth to this, that's probably it. It's just 10 dudes like sitting around drinking and posting shit on the internet.
Right. It's just a group of friends, you know, dicking around, and they've somehow gotten national attention by pissing off the right people.
But the thing is, apparently that was a hoax too. Bennett says there was no plot to take a cartoon frog and make it a symbol of white supremacy. Paul Town told the DCNF, "That's absurd on the face of it." And he's right.
Agreed.
He's absolutely right. It's just, this is ridiculous. Yeah, and trolls boasted to turn Taylor Swift into an Aryan goddess. And
she didn't need any help with that.
I don't know anything about Taylor Swift. I don't know who that is. I just know it's some pop star that the alt-right are just using to mock other people with. But Bennett concludes on a cautious note. The stewards of this Twitter world are notoriously capricious and trolltastic. They could even retract this mea culpa of sorts. Maybe maybe the revelation that the Frog Twitter was a prank itself is a prank. It could also be that Trump supporters actually do hold invidious views were among those fooled by the prank. So that some of the ugly Pepe memes were created unironically. This is like Inception. Meme Inception. Layers upon layers of memes. So nobody really knows what layer they're on, and nobody knows what any of this really means.
God, it's like an old cartoon, you know. I'm not going to do that unless what you really want me to do is to do that.
Yeah.
So then I'll do that. But what if you know that I would know that you wanted me to do? Oh my God.
No,
You're journalists. You're journalists. Knock it off.
Yeah, exactly. Stop investigating memes. Just stop investigating memes. So it's that. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I understand how before the internet you never needed this rule, but rule number, I don't know, whatever, just add it onto the list of journalistic rules. Never investigate memes. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It just doesn't end well.
It's an exercise in pointlessness.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so this whole thing is just, it's just a big piss take. It's just at their expense, and they're such complete fucking idiots they didn't realise.
Magnificence.
I know. I don't really think. I mean, have you got anything else you'd like to say about this one before we move on? Because
this is like the plastic bag in American Beauty for me. You know, it really honestly is.
That's a great analogy.
I'm good.
No. Isn't this just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? No.
It's like this whole situation. This meme is dancing with me.
Oh man, I remember when Donald Trump tweeted out this fucking from, I don't know, white genocide or whatever it was, the Pepe Donald Trump, and it was just like, that fucking madman. He's actually done it, and mate, I can't believe how much an effect this has had. That's
beautiful.
Incredible. So the next thing that I was going to talk about is kind of on the same vein. Colin Powell. I understand you don't. You're not really familiar with this one. So Colin Powell is obviously a ex-Secretary of State and all-round important person, and his emails were leaked from the DNC, and he's very frank. The one that I found most amusing was him emailing someone called Jeffrey Leeds, saying, "I would rather not have to vote for her," meaning Hillary, "although she is a friend and I respect her. As a 70-year-old person with a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, not transformational, with a husband still dicking bimbos at home," according to the New York Post.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh my God!
No, I mean you've really got to admire how just blunt and to the point he is being there, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what? The really cool thing about Colin Powell was back before the whole George W. Bush thing. Like, he was seen as supposed to be the rationalism that would restore the Republican Party, you know, and then he just washed his hands of it. He's like, "Fuck this noise," and pulled back away from it. And I am not surprised that he would say something like that, but it's so amazing to read it.
I was amazed he endorsed the Iraq War. I was genuinely surprised. I didn't think he was going to. And
I didn't think he would either.
And I think they were banking on his credibility when they were doing it as well.
That's probably exactly why. They must have had to pull every single favor they could just to get him to endorse it.
Yeah, and there is more as well. He just keeps going, apparently. So, the birther movement, yep, the whole birther movement was racist. That's what the 99% believe. When Trump couldn't keep up what he said, he said he also wanted to see if the certificate was noted he was a Muslim. As I've said before, so what if he was? Muslims are born as Americans every day, which, to be fair, is a fair point. I mean, there's nothing in your constitution preventing a Muslim being president, is there?
No, nothing at all.
You've got a much more inferior system to us. I mean, we have to have a Protestant as the king, so...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there was actually a drive to allow a Catholic to be the king, allow him to convert to Catholicism. I'm like, dude, are you fucking serious? I'm not agreeing for this.
That's not a good idea. There's a reason why there was so many divisions between the church and state throughout, European history.
Yeah, and there's, people are like, but that was ancient history. It's like, yeah, I know, and I don't care. I don't want a Catholic as the King of England. Anyway, on Republicans and racism, in an email from May of this year, the subject line racism, Powell reiterated a position he'd taken on the past, writing, or as I said before the 2012 election, there is a level of intolerance in part of the Republican Party. Well, yeah, that's true, but there is in the Democrat Party, isn't there? Mostly they're
Oh,
Bernie supporters, and mostly they hate white people. So,
hmm
shrug. You know. On,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, if you want to stop and jump in with anything, just let me know.
Oh, I mean, for any example of racism in the Democrat Party, just look back at the policies enacted while Bill was in office and the whole super predators thing. I mean,
Oh
just
yeah, yeah. But I mean,
ridiculous.
it's racism on both sides, though, isn't it? I mean, the Republicans at least aren't very racist to white people. You know, if they
Yeah.
if they're going to be racist, you'd expect it to black people. But the Democrats have been racist to black and white people. So why would I think better of them?
Yeah, I really it's a cognitive dissonance to really believe that in some idealism that one side is like all racist, the other side not racist at all.
Yeah,
Nah,
we've
nah, nah, nah.
never been racist, apart from the slavery bit. But
Well, we just don't talk about that.
yeah, I tell you what, it must really chaff their fucking ass to find that they are the party of slavery. I mean, that must
Yeah,
just be no wonder
absolutely.
they're acting out so much.
Well, and it's usually Democrat-minded activists that are pushing for things like segregation in schools and
Oh yeah.
segregation in dorms, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
So.
Bernie supporters one and all, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I actually was going to a university that did segregated retreats for brainwashing the children.
Jesus, really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There was a retreat for the white kids to teach them about how their whiteness. They didn't even say white privilege. They said their
Yeah, just their
whiteness
whiteness. Yeah.
is toxic. And then everybody else took one called racial aikido, which was how to deflect the effects of whiteness upon you.
You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting. So I reported. Well, no, I didn't report on that. I read a story about that in a video a while ago. Let me fucking use accurate terminology here. I talked about that a while ago, and it was just one of those things that you just thought, yeah, this is just obviously something that is going to be reported on, and then people will be like, you know what, this was a bad idea, but they didn't, did they? Just carried on doing it regardless, didn't they?
Oh yeah, it's even worse now. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I can fucking totally believe it. And yeah, he's just got a few other, just like Trump. He's like, you guys are playing in his game. You are his oxygen. He's outraged us again with his comments on Paris and no-go police districts. And he understands that Trump's playing the fucking media game, and they're just playing straight into it. And he obviously doesn't want to get into the emails or anything like that. And he seems like a really fucking level-headed dude, and he seems to actually know what the fuck he's talking about, which explains why he didn't run for the presidency.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a bullshit job right there. And Colin Powell would never get taken in by Pepe. That just wouldn't fucking happen.
I don't know. Look at that face. I think you could Pepe that. Come on, come on.
Maybe if
Someone,
he pushes buttons just right.
someone could Pepe that shit.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he's not gonna get outraged by a cartoon fucking frog though.
Oh no,
Like, that
God, he
guy's-
would.
He's
No,
too smart.
he
No
would
way.
be the cartoon frog.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things I was thinking about is like, who could really legitimately actually vote for Clinton now, who wasn't just partisan? I mean, what rational reason would you have to vote for Clinton? Just given and just the Democratic Party in general, because I mean, you've got Clinton's history of Libya, Syria, various other things. I'm not talking about Benghazi either. I'm talking about her refusing diplomatic and democratic overtures from Gaddafi's son. I'm talking about her
Oh, yeah.
expressly plotting to overthrow Syria, quote, because it would help Israel. And these are from her email links. I'm not making this up. You can Google this and read it for yourself, where she is plotting like Machiavelli, right? There is obviously the intense corruption of the Clinton campaign. There are the rumors of the mysterious deaths around her campaign. 6 deaths now. How many of Donald Trump's assistants and aides and whatnot have died? As far as I'm aware, the answer is 0.
Wow,
And
I hadn't heard about the deaths thing. Really?
Have you not?
That's
No,
insane.
six people have died on the Clinton campaign trail. Hang on, I'll.
That's absolutely insane. What's really interesting, what's fascinating about this whole election cycle is that aside from partisan politics or that she has a vagina, the real guiding force through the whole election is just Donald Trump. That's entirely it. Though
That's all she talks about.
Yeah, and they hinge the media does it too, everybody does it. They hinge the entire way of wanting people to vote for Hillary by painting him as badly as possible. And in some ways, he doesn't really need the help. But it's kind of pathetic when your political position hinges solely on making your opponent look as shit terrible as possible because you have no redeeming
Well,
qualities.
that's exactly what happened in Brexit, and I honestly I think it's the single worst campaign strategy you can think of, because all you're doing is surrounding yourself with this aura of negativity. Wherever you go, you're being negative. You know, oh, don't do this. Donald Trump's this. Donald Trump's that. Pepe the Frog is a white nationalist meme. You know, if you're not making yourself sound ridiculous, you're making yourself sound like a fucking downer. And this was the point I made with Donald Trump's Twitter feed. Just look at the respective Twitter feeds. Hillary is desperately batting off accusations of emails and trying to tear Trump down. And Trump's just going like, everyone's fucking brilliant, thanks everyone, this is amazing, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you create this impression of success. You know, I mean, he does do that. And it is attractive.
It's very attractive. Absolutely. You have to be outraged in order to not at least find him somewhat endearing.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't like his politics.
Yeah, even if you hate him. He's still at least entertaining. In fact, we'll get onto this in a bit, in fact. But what I was just thinking is, I mean, it's the same thing with the EU. No one ever says how good a Hillary Clinton presidency is going to be.
Right. Because, I mean, it's either gonna be exactly the same or it's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
You know.
There
is no silver lining.
Yeah, they never say, you know, under Hillary Clinton, you're going to get, you know, free soapy hand jobs every morning or something. You know, they never say, yeah, you're gonna wake up with, you know, just tits in your face every day, something like that. You know, there is just nothing to advertise Hillary Clinton. It's just Donald Trump is evil. Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump is this. Donald Trump kicks puppies. Donald Trump sometimes eats Mexican food. I don't know, whatever the fucking accusation is today. It's always the same fucking thing. It's like, look, Hillary, that's not really making me think any less of Donald Trump at this point. It's actually making me think you have a problem, and your problem is you don't actually have anything positive. You don't, and it's exactly the same with the EU. Exactly the same.
I would agree. You know, it's the
sorry, I need a drink.
oh man,
Hillary, get up here.
Hillary got it.
There's nothing wrong with my health.
Oh, you're killing me. Oh, Jesus. Oh man, that just totally shot what I was gonna say right out of my brain.
Sorry. So yeah, I can't remember. I don't know what you can say, but like, you know, I was saying that why would you vote for Hillary? What's she offering? And the answer just seems to be more of the same, and that's what got us into the position we're in now.
Oh, I remember what it was. So, you know, Ed, I think what's so interesting too is you have the problem with the public perception and the actual reality of political parties or ideologies, that sort of thing. And one could make the argument that Democrats, progressives, non-classical liberals, but the left, could be perceived as an anti-war ideology. But the basic fact of the matter is that Hillary Clinton voted for the Iraq War.
Yeah,
she continues to support the idea of destabilizing the Middle East with all of these just atrocious ideas. Trump has always, I mean, he says like he's going to go and kick ISIS's ass, but you know, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah,
but he was a vocal opponent, a very vocal and celebrity opponent of the Iraq War. And he's always had an anti-war stance because he's not a weapons manufacturer. He's not a war profiteer.
That's
so
true.
For him, war is not good for business.
Yeah.
So his platform is anti-war, yet these people who are very, you know, they say they're peace-loving, that doesn't even filter in. Because I guess that's not high enough on the outrage ladder, maybe? Maybe that's what it is.
Well, no, I mean, I think that's a really cogent analysis, actually. Trump loses nothing by not going to war. You know, Trump doesn't have, as far as I'm aware, vested interests in the arms industry, in any of that. Whereas Hillary Clinton has undoubtedly got many, many contacts in various military-industrial companies and corporations.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's going to be exactly the same as the Bush presidency, to be honest. I mean, she is effectively a neocon. I don't really see any difference between her and the Bush administration.
Oh,
and,
no, neither do I.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. I mean, I'm amazed she's a Democrat because, I mean, 10 years ago she's like, well, gay marriages between a man and a woman. I'm anti-gay rights, all this sort of stuff. And like you say, with her husband and racism and stuff, and it's just like, she's just out for herself. And Colin Powell says exactly that. He let me just get up again, actually. Yeah, sorry. When he's saying, I would rather not have to vote for her. She's got a long track record of. Oh, there's the rendering. I'll upload that in a minute. She's got a long track record of unbridled ambition, greedy, not transformational. That's a really important thing to note because, and it comes down to like their campaign slogans. You know, Trump's like "Make America Great Again." He's concerned about the country. Hillary is "I'm with her." She makes it about herself, and that's what this is, isn't it? This is like a 30-year culmination of a vanity project for Hillary Clinton. She's been working to this really fucking hard for decades, and now it's all going to be snatched out of her grasp because she's awful, and everyone can see it.
Absolutely terrible. And you know, the other one that always just shakes me to the core is the notion that if she does get in, then that's three families that have been in control of the highest office in the United States of America in a very fucking long time.
Basically,
You know,
monarchies, isn't it? Rotating monarchy.
damn near. You
Do you
know,
want a Bush or a Clinton?
right? And it's horrifying. It's a
Hey,
terrifying concept.
Chelsea's getting to the sort of age where she can start getting into politics, and she is because of her mum. And you know that George Bush's son. I saw a thing actually where he was grooming him for politics. It's like, really, you're just going to keep going with the Bushes and Clintons? I mean, do you ever think that maybe in a country of like 300 million people, there could be literally anyone else? I would personally just start by looking for people under 50. As
Right.
if I mean, just as an outsider's advice, just someone who
Absolutely.
isn't due to or should be retired. I mean, these Trump and Hillary should be putting on their fucking slippers, getting some hot chocolate, and then yelling at the TV.
Yeah, yelling at baseball or something. Yeah, and being disappointed in their grandchildren. That's really what they should be focused on.
Exactly. Exactly. They should just be they should be wondering if they're ever going to fucking call.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't understand how your country has whittled it down, and it was basically three old people. Sanders was 75. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, fucking
Yeah,
come
that
on.
that was not a good situation to be in. And you know, when it really came down to it, I started looking at the other candidates, and some of them were younger, some of them were smart. I really didn't agree with any of their politics at all, but any of them, well, not any of them, not Jeb,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
but you know, damn near any of them would be superior candidates to run instead of Hillary Clinton. Trump, I'm fine with Trump running just because it's a unique and different experience. We've never had anybody like him really run before. I mean, Reagan was kind of close, but you know, he at least had a. I think he ran for like another office before he went for president.
And he was
Thing.
he was already famous, wasn't he? So I mean,
Oh yeah,
very
yeah.
much in sort of Trump style. But
He was an actor in cowboy movies.
yeah, exactly. But the thing is with like Trump, I can never understand people like Trump says bad things. It's like, yeah, but Hillary does bad things.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
Hillary is legitimately responsible for people dying. It might not be unjustified, it might not be illegal, but Hillary's actions have killed people, and I don't really know if I agree with what she's done anyway, and I doubt I would. If I actually had omniscient knowledge of the things she's done, I'd be very surprised if I fucking agreed with any of it.
Agreed. And her husband's policies, you know, well, during his whole presidency, some of their policies resulted in the largest mass incarceration of black men in history,
Yeah,
like
okay,
since slavery.
Well, do you
You
want
know,
talk us through it because I'm aware of it, but I wouldn't say I'm educated enough to be able to tell people about it.
the nuances are going to be a bit lost because it's a while since I was refreshed on it.
Just
But the
just give us
basic
the short boil it down to basically what the case was.
so basically what they ended up doing was it was more pressure for the war on drugs. They started pushing forward more legislation
Hmm.
that allowed for more incarceration, and it goes all the way back to the 80s too, because Reagan did it too with different sentences for crack rather than cocaine,
Right. Okay.
and that affected more black people because of the locations where these drugs are being used. But the majority of the reason is like three strikes you're out rule, you know? So if you're repeat offenders, you can end up in
Yeah.
federal
Yeah. No,
prison
I'm aware. I
a
think the
long
three
time.
strikes rule is I mean that obviously that's the reason for such a large amount of black criminals in prisons. Actually, recidivism is a huge problem in
Yep,
poor
it absolutely
communities,
is.
especially with drugs. And if you end up, I mean, it's not hard to get caught twice with drugs. And
No.
if the third time is you go to jail for, what is it, life? Is it 25 years?
It's a lot.
It's a
It's
huge sentence, isn't it?
yeah, it's at
Um,
least a decade or two, and you
yeah.
can get nailed that back in the day. You could get nailed with that for weed. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's in my opinion a non-crime. I mean,
Yeah.
even the hard substances, I would probably be like, look, I don't think I'd ban them. I think I would just control them, and I would have them.
Absolutely.
I'm not suggesting that maybe every corner shop would be selling heroin. Maybe you'd need a particular kind of license, and you'd have particular opening hours or something like that. But
Sure.
there's no point criminalizing this shit because prohibition doesn't work. It's never
Yeah.
worked. I mean,
And the
we've got
war on
more.
drugs. It's the war on drugs has been the most devastating thing to the black communities in the United States than anything else, hands down.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, especially their expansion of the ATF, the DEA, any number of different these government bodies at the time during the 90s to crack down on a lot of the things they didn't like, drugs, illegal cigarette trades, any number of different things. Inadvertently ended up fucking up black communities worse. And that was at the point where we were starting to understand the racism in the country. And we're really starting to make a difference and try and clean up some urban areas. And these sweeping policies come through and fucked it up. Totally fucked it up. Just demolished it, paved it over. And it's hideous.
See,
It's a terrible thing.
I have a funny feeling that this isn't necessarily a race issue and it's a class issue.
Oh, sure. It's
'Cause-
just it's circumstantial of what races were involved.
Yeah, yeah, it is circumstantial. Exactly it. Because, I mean, we could apply the same policy in Britain and we would find a disproportionate number of chavs in prison.
Right. Exactly.
And they're not, they're not just white, they're all sorts of colours. But they're not just black and they're not just white. It's a class issue. It's not, I don't think it's necessarily a race issue. But the
Right.
problem in America is a large portion of the lower class are black.
Yep.
Disproportionate
that's-
number, I imagine.
And the media feeds into it, and that's how we get it gets turned into a race issue rather than a class issue, which I think disempowers a lot of black people because of that, because they feel like they can't make a change.
Yeah,
Because I think-
I think it locks them into this, and this is, I think, what we'll get to with Trey Melvin, actually.
Oh.
I really do think it locks them into this pattern where they think, I mean, and he was literally saying, my money doesn't, I don't get privilege from having lots of money. I mean, I love telling people that saying money isn't a privilege, and just watching the look on their face. I went around to a friend of mine's yesterday, and we were just hanging out and stuff, and I met someone who had watched my videos. He was there. And so I was talking to him about it, and the chap I knew, we all call him Frodo, he hadn't seen this, so he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I got the guy to tell him what Trey Melvin said, and he was just sat there, his face was scrunched up, so he's like, what the fuck does that even mean? I mean, this guy works in a minimum wage job, so saying to him, money doesn't equal privilege, he was just, he couldn't even comprehend what he was trying to say, and
It's
anyway.
it's baffling. I've mentioned it to a couple of people too, and they everybody has the same just incredulous look on their face, like, are you? He did not say that. Oh yeah, yes he did.
This is what he actually believes. But, right, okay, sorry, I've Sorry, I'm having issues. Hang on a second. Sorry about this.
No worries. There have been so many Pepes and giant ASCII art in the chat. It's amazing.
Right, okay. I've solved one problem. I'm just in the middle of solving another. Sorry, I want to put the video up because everyone's been waiting for it, and I just want to
Oh, no worries. Yeah, that's
get
fine.
out of the way, and it's like, oh, sorry everyone. I'm just an idiot. That's all. But there is a distinct problem with my brain, so I do apologise. But okay, so have you seen this article on the Huffington Post?
No. Wow.
Okay, so
That's brilliant.
yeah, if you don't vote Democrat this November, then fuck you. And that is the Huffington Post, just a mainstream media outlet by Christian Gabriel, who's about to tell you how fucking serious it's going to get real, basically. You can tell because this is the picture that accompanies his article.
A dystopian nightmare future.
Post-apocalyptic, like New York or something. It's like, dude, I don't think that's going to happen if you vote for Trump. Right, do me a
It's like
favor.
it's like a disaster movie from the 90s.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. It's like the original Fallout or something.
Oh,
It's just,
God.
dude, what the fuck do you think's happening here? But do me a favor, read this paragraph out while I finish doing this. Just
First
so
one?
Yeah, just the first one. Do you want the link, or are you okay?
Oh
with
no,
it?
I can see it perfectly.
Okay,
I'm not a supporter. I actually think everything about this election cycle is disgusting, sad, uninspiring. I've been mostly apathetic. From white feminism to hashtag Bernie or Bust to the HRC to Bernie Bros, I'm actually so fed up that I don't read or watch any news related to our candidates anymore. I left Trump out above because that white devil man.
He actually calls him a white devil. He actually calls him a white devil.
Oh, this is a mainstream news outlet, guys. Okay, all right. Because that white devil man doesn't need any more acknowledgement from me. But curiously, y'all are about to hand him the election, and for what? Because you're salty that your candidate isn't going to compete for the presidency? Bernie put up a good fight. A really, really good fight. And goddamn, he has some amazing ideas that would totally revolutionize American culture, or bankrupt it.
Yeah, how good are his ideas really? I mean, I don't want to be that sort of naysayer, but
Right.
sorry.
Well, there's virtue and then there's reality. You know,
Right.
I think Bernie's a virtuous person, but reality does not agree with his ideas.
That's a great way of framing the distinction. Actually, he is a virtuous person, probably. Although
Yeah.
I wasn't very impressed when he bought his third house at $600,000. I'm not gonna lie. As the sort of man of the people,
Hello, everyone.
complaining about the poor plight of the oppressed lower classes, buying your third home at $750,000, not terribly principled.
It makes all the people ask the question, where exactly did my $27 go?
Yes, exactly. Where did you get the money for this, Bernie? Just out of interest. I mean, it's not like you had big corporate donations.
Oh man. Okay, where am I at?
Sorry.
No. It's brilliant. I love it. That would totally revolutionize American culture, economics, and our society in general. But he's not going to be the president of the United States. Deal with it. Right now, the only two people that have any chance at that are Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Donald fucking Trump. I can imagine his vocal cords just squeezing tight, just as tight as his thighs as he's clenching up. Donald fucking Trump.
I love the way he may as well be saying Darth fucking Vader.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, Donald Trump hasn't actually really done anything that bad. Yeah, okay, he may have scammed a few people, and that's not good. But the alternative is way worse.
Yeah, potential war criminal.
Yeah, and just insanely corrupt. I mean, the DNC, the whole Democratic Party, seems to be insanely corrupt. The literal conspiracies against Bernie Sanders. You know, and
Absolutely.
and
And
just
it's out. Everybody knows about it.
yeah, this is all open. It's not a secret. It's not even slightly a secret. There's
You know,
no
the reaction to
denying
that.
it.
The reaction to that is just simple. Well, at least it's not Trump.
Exactly. What do you mean? At least it's not Trump. You seem way worse.
You just gunned down 15 children in that fucking parking lot. Well, at least I'm not Trump. Oh, he's got a point, you know.
Yeah, gotta let him off on that one. Get away, you cheeky scamp.
This isn't a fucking joke. This is real. And y'all have the... God damn it.
Look, you can tell he's being really serious by the frequent use of the word "fuck" and the capital letters.
You know, he really means his words because he's using capitals.
Oh yeah, this guy's
And y'all-
serious, guys.
And y'all have the audacity to sit back and say, I won't vote, or I'll vote for Trump, or I'll vote for blank, so and so, who isn't going to become president, but it's cute you voted for them one time because of your principles. It's bullshit. And to be frank, how fucking dare you?
I am outraged that people would vote in opposition to me. How fucking dare you?
Jesus, the salt fulfills me right now.
What? Go for this next one though. This is just so amazing.
All right, 49 people were killed at a gay club called Pulse in Orlando, Florida, this weekend. God fucking damn it. All right, 49. A singer who was on The Voice was killed less than 24 hours before that by a crazed white man with a gun.
Okay, hang on. Just a question. Why does the fact that this was a crazed white man matter, but the Pulse Orlando shooter's ethnicity and gender not matter?
Oh, well, I mean, he doesn't want to be seen as Islamophobic.
Exactly. It's okay to go, yeah, it was a crazy white man with a gun, not a crazy Muslim man with a gun or an Afghan man with a gun. No, you just don't say that. It's just the person that 49 people killed in a mystery killing in the Pulse Orlando club. I mean, nobody knows how it happened. We literally haven't told you how it happened, but they just died. It was a mystery. It was awful, but it was tragic.
It's tragic. We call that a JFO, just fell over.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. Black and brown people are executed by police with guns on a regular basis. Executed. Fantastic.
Like a communist purge or something.
I imagine like this cartoon sort of thing where you open up the back of the police car and in the trunk is like larger than the car itself, and they pull out this giant post and they fucking handcuff the people to it, tie a bandana around their head. Would you like one last cigarette? Do you have any last words?
Well, like a mobile lynching station or something.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It makes
Why
about as
wouldn't
much
they?
sense as this article.
Exactly. Yeah, but if you were going to oppress black people and you really wanted to keep them in fear of their lives, you could have a mobile lynching brigade that,
There you go.
just rolled up, unpacked, get it done in 20 minutes.
I mean, obviously we would have done that by now. We're just lazy.
Yeah.
We just haven't gotten around to it yet.
We want to, but we just, And the whole thing, why would white people free slaves if they wanted to oppress black people? Why would
More
they do it?
sport. More sport.
Oh, it's more challenging. This is too easy to oppress the slaves. Right.
Yeah, we needed to spice things up a little bit.
That's a good point. I didn't even think. Competitive. See, that's how America's done so well. You've kept your edge. That's very good. Didn't get complacent.
Exactly. Always gotta refine your techniques. But you're willing to let a white supremacist, misogynist, scam artist who supports the idea of bringing more guns into elementary schools.
Is that
among
actually
other...
is that actually a pledge of his? I want more
I
guns in
know.
elementary schools.
No, absolutely not. No, the notion. So he doesn't like gun-free zones, which most rational people don't like gun-free zones anyway.
Yeah.
But I think he said at one point that he was considering the idea of arming teachers or having like more armed guards to protect schools as a basic idea to try and prevent things like the whole Sandy Hook shooting. Which, I mean, objectively speaking, if you train the teachers how to use guns, I'm fine with that.
It's got to be better than just allowing a school shooter to wander around before anyone gets there to stop him.
Yeah.
I mean-
32 elementary school kids. Pop! Gone.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
mean,
that.
Don't get me wrong, as someone living in Europe, this all looks insane, and it looks like you guys have sort of gone down a path that is become very complicated, windy, and dangerous.
It
And
has.
that's generally been avoided elsewhere in the world.
When
So-
you look at it from a completely stern, cold, rationalist viewpoint, though, what's fascinating about the gun debate is that it's not really a debate anymore because it is impossible to get rid of the guns. It's impossible. So the whole notion of like disarming the country or removing guns from people is just it's a foregone conclusion. It's something that's not even really worth debating because it's an impossibility, which frees it up for a type of conversation to talk about responsible counters to
Yeah.
this gun culture we have.
Yeah, and
But most people don't want to talk rationally about it.
Yeah, and that's why it looks bizarre from a European perspective, because I don't think we understand how much of your republic is predicated on the idea of an armed public.
Oh yeah, almost the entire thing.
Yeah, exactly. Without the armed public, that's the great check on the government. And so so regardless of what happens in the government, regardless of how chummy the government gets, if the public are armed, that is a very real limit on their power. Whether or not the public can defeat the government, either. I actually really doubt the American public could defeat the American government if it came to it.
I don't think so either.
But the fallout of the government winning a civil war against their own public is just it's terrible. It would
yeah.
probably undermine the whole thing from within anyway. So
It just makes the whole entire thing completely unpalatable, so nobody ever wants to push that button.
exactly, yeah.
And that's a basis for it. The Second Amendment makes sure that we will always have the first, and that's the basic foundation of it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's the best way to do things.
No, and that's exactly it. I don't think it's the best way to do things either. But within
here we are.
certain realistic constraints, there are it creates its own sort of like logical structure. So
Yeah.
saying, well, okay, maybe school teachers should be armed and they should be trained, that's not a ridiculous thing to say within the logic of what we're talking about, the context. It's certainly not my ideal thing anyway. But sorry, yeah, I'll let you carry on.
Oh, okay. To become president of the United States. Oh, wait. No, yeah, yeah, okay. But you're willing to let a white supremacist, misogynist scam artist who supports the idea of bringing more guns into elementary schools to become the president of the United States because your candidate didn't make it to the finals? How fucking dare you?
I tell you, I will never get bored of people saying things like "How dare you," especially when I just think they're idiots. So it's just like, again, the caps and the fucking in there. It says "fucks" with caps. I mean, this guy. I mean, this is super serial. Come on, guys.
He got paid for this article, I bet.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
He had to have been, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Righteous indignation is just the funniest expression. It's so good. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, yeah. The thing with righteous indignation, though, is it only translates through, or it best translates through speech. You know, when you can see
Sure.
someone's actions, you can hear the tone in their voice and the emotion. Full caps and, with lots of swear words doesn't come across as righteous indignation. It comes across as a petulant fit.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you know, at best, maybe you're just gonna come across as smarmy if you're doing it in like a derisive tone. But yeah, it usually just comes across as petulant.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It really, I mean, it does genuinely just seem petulant, doesn't it? But yeah, please carry on, because the next bit is just golden.
We are dying. I'm sorry that an aging, crotchety white man didn't fulfill all of your hopeful, revolutionary Obama Redux
Redux, I think it
fantasies.
is.
I truly am. I actually want someone like Bernie Sanders to be the president. I want our entire social, governmental, and economic structures to change drastically. I'm just as disgusted as you by Hillary Clinton's ties to big business and corporate greed. But I'm also living in reality. You sure, buddy? Oh.
Sorry, I'll mute this. Sorry, carry on.
I can have
I
a.
just can't get over it. Listen, Jeff. He's living in reality. Damn it! You better take this seriously.
God damn it! Right. Okay. Okay. Game face on. Game face on. I'll rub the smiles out. Okay. Uh, I can have hopeful visions for the future and accept the present. Maybe that's because I'm a person of color who watches in horror almost every day of the week when I see new videos of other people of color harassed, mistreated, degraded, brutalized, and murdered by the authoritative systems of our white supremacist nation. Woo!
See, now, do you know what I love about this? Is this is probably the problem of the internet. It's the consequence of the internet. Because if you can tailor all of the media you consume to give you one specific kind of thing, I reckon it's going to completely warp your mind as to how prevalent this thing actually is. I mean, America's a huge country. It's got 300 million people. If you see like a dozen of these in a month, that's still fuck all.
Right.
You know, that's
Absolutely.
exactly, it's fuck all. You know, and we get about one a week. One new like Sandra Bland, fucking Eric Garner, all those sort of. You know, we get one a week that goes viral, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, look at this! I'm so annoyed." The white supremacist,
Yeah.
and it's just like, look, that's actually not very prevalent. I mean, it's more prevalent than other places. Don't get me wrong, but that's a result of your culture. It's not, but it's still not like the real catastrophe is not the police shooting black people. It really is black people shooting black people. I mean,
It's
on the
vastly
numbers.
Yeah, it's vastly more, and there's no moral outrage about it. There's no protests, no riots, no nothing, you know. And it's all the rhetoric behind the ideology, and even just in the way he frames this is so fascinating to me. So he says he's a person of color, watches in horror almost every day of the week when I see new videos of other people of color harassed, mistreated, degraded, brutalized, and murdered. Well, what happens if you see a video of a white person? Because people of color just means not white.
Yeah, but he never sees that, does he? Because the way he takes in media, on his Twitter feed, on his Facebook feed, in any of his social media platforms, all he's going to see are people sharing black people being killed by cops. He's never going to be friends with someone who would share a white person being killed by a black cop, for example, or a black person being killed by a black cop.
Right. Well, I mean, even other people of color, I fucking hate that term too.
Yeah, me
But
too.
let's say Mexican, Hispanic, in certain parts of the country, there are huge amounts of shootings where Hispanic people die too. There's no marches, there's no protests, there's no riots. It never hits the news. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody
Yeah.
gives a shit, and they still die. White
Yep.
people, same thing. They still fucking die. They still fucking die. Like you want to go by the ratios of how many are per racial demographic are killed versus the other. Fine, I understand that, but that doesn't change the fact that a lot of fucking people die,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make their deaths, less significant or more significant. It's horrifying.
Yeah, each individual situation is a horrifying thing, but you can hardly be expected to have some sort of emotional reaction to the latest example of a thing that happens to someone else you don't know, you know, and you
Right.
don't know anyone involved. You can hardly be expected to be emotional about that. And in fact, it would be, in my opinion, a bad thing to be emotional about that because a, it's not directly affecting you. So why are you letting this make you lose
Right.
control? You should. If it had happened to me and someone I knew, I wouldn't want to lose control and get all emotional and start acting out about it. I would consider that a personal failing.
Absolutely. You know,
Yeah, like any
the
adult would.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, any self-aware person trying to understand, the greater complexities. The Another one that's amazing to me is do you remember Tamir Rice, that little kid who had the
The gun, yeah, the 12-year-old with
yeah,
the
the BB
fake
gun.
gun, yeah.
Yeah, he had a BB gun, and the cops saw him, and they shot and they
Yeah,
killed
yeah, it
him.
was pretty horrific, to be honest.
It was pretty horrific. But what's fascinating about this is that in a 3-year period, a year and a half before and a year and a half afterwards, I think it's either like 5 or 6 different children across the country were killed in similar circumstances, holding a BB gun that looked real and were shot dead by the fucking cops. The only
And
thing
nobody
that's
cares.
different, nobody cared. Why? Because
They
they
were white.
weren't. They were well. They
Well,
were
yeah, no, not
some
black
were
then.
Hispanic. Some were
Yeah.
Hispanic. Two of them were Hispanic, if I'm remembering it correctly. They weren't black, so the outrage just doesn't exist. And so this is a white supremacist
Hello,
nation, a
everyone.
white supremacist nation that is putting all of this impetus and this attention on these black deaths, but totally ignoring Hispanic, even Asian. There's plenty of Asian gangsters that get fucking killed in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
yeah. No one cares.
Nobody cares, but we're a white supremacist nation. Okay, all
Yeah.
right, well, okay.
I can only imagine.
That's
Do you want
amazing.
to carry on?
Sure. This is it. This guy, he knows how to sell it.
I know.
It's either going to be a Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump who's sworn into the office this November. How many people will suffer a multitude of hardships under a Trump presidency?
Hang on. What? I mean, does he think that nobody's going to suffer under a Hillary presidency?
Oh, of course not. It's all going to be sunshine and
It'll be
rainbows.
people in other countries, though, won't it? That'll be the thing.
Yeah, that's
It'll either be the evil meme jihadists or the people in other countries, and so he doesn't care.
the meme jihadists. Jesus Christ. How many people?
I can't even.
I know. Oh my God. How many will continue to live in danger? Continue to live in danger. How much worse will it get under a president who advocates violence against those who don't agree with you or are different than you?
Hang on. Let me just wind that back a second. How many people will continue to live in danger under a democratic president who is also black? And he's responsible for this. If living under Trump would be a different thing to living under Hillary, and the situation people live in would be a consequence of the president, then isn't Obama directly responsible for all of the ills of the black community over the last 8 years?
Oh, but well, I mean, that
By this
that's
logic,
that just makes sense. So it can't. No. We can't.
it can't be true, can it? Because otherwise, they'd have to look at Obama and go, "You've been awful."
But my rhetoric.
Exactly, yeah. But Trump.
But Trump, yeah, that's always Trump. Let's see. You'll be fine because you have enough money to keep you safe. What about me? I don't have all that money. All that money. I don't have all that money. What the fuck kind of sentence is that? You didn't know anyone who got shot last night? Do you? Does okay. That sort of thing would never happen to you? Question mark. This is driving me nuts. I'm scrolling through my Facebook wall, seeing desperate plea after plea and prayer after prayer, hoping that friends and loved ones are still alive. But you can't vote Democrat if it's not your candidate because of your morals. How fucking dare you?
God, I'm surprised that's not in bold.
I know, absolutely.
Caps, fuck, and bold. It should be that. See, that's how I'm not persuaded. If he just went that little bit extra, then I'd be like, you know what, he's got a good point. But you see what I mean about he's scrolling through his Facebook wall, and it's just the same fucking thing over and over again, and so he thinks it gives him a distorted view of the world. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that's what's happening here.
There's nothing objective about your Facebook feed. That's literally something that you craft
Yeah.
to be content you want to see.
Yeah, it's literally your very own echo chamber if you want.
Yeah.
And this person, obviously, I bet he blocks like a motherfucker, you know?
Oh, I'm sure he does.
And, you know, I just want to mention something. I see people accusing people outside of, like, the sort of community we're in who really understand the sort of SJWs of other people being SJWs. And it's like, no, you can be a regressive without being an SJW.
Sure.
Being an SJW is a set of specific actions that is following on from this ideology and can probably follow on from any other ideology. It's just that we've seen it most obviously in the SJWs because, honestly, I don't think anyone else would have the balls to be as corrupt as they are, frankly.
Agreed.
But other people, like, in the real world, who are just regressives and think that, you know, there is a white supremacy and black people are being shot by cops on purpose and stuff, they're not necessarily SJWs. And so it's actually a bad thing when we sit there pointing the finger. An SJW will let you know they are an SJW. Like with the case of Humongous and the Trump guy who got his hat stolen and stuff like that was going on recently. They are SJWs. You know, they're going over and they're imposing themselves in a personal way on someone else. That's what an SJW... And then claiming, like, the greater good. That's the SJW. A person lobbying for some regressive bullshit isn't necessarily an SJW, and I really don't think we should go around just pointing the finger. But we'll talk about this more about when we get to Trey, actually, because there are a few other things that I think are worth talking about. And I'm distracting here. Sorry.
Oh no, it's totally fine. Do you want me to finish it up?
Well, you know, I think we've got the gist of this guy's this guy's anal cancer. So let's talk about Jimmy Fallon. Okay, give me 2 seconds.
No worries. We are dying. Jesus.
Jeff, you're not taking this seriously.
I don't want our blood to be on your hands.
Oh, I love it. So, so Donald Trump went on Jimmy Fallon's show, and I'm just going to play it with the sound off so we can talk. I don't know whether you can see this or not. You should be.
Yeah,
able to.
I could see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
The audio really isn't the important bit. The important bit is the fact that Jimmy Fallon is having quite a nice conversation with Trump, or at least, like, he's not being openly antagonistic, and he's being reasonable in it. If you go and watch it, you'll obviously get the full context.
Yeah, it was a good interview.
It
I
was
liked
actually, yeah, I did, and again, Trump came off as really quite personable and friendly and funny, and was able to have a laugh at his own expense. And it was like, wow, I don't know whether he is able to do that in real life, but I mean, he pulled it off on this at least. Which and yeah, here we come to the head rubbing. This is the bit.
Yeah, this is great. I genuinely do believe that he is this chill.
I don't know. I can imagine that it's I can imagine it being for the cameras, to be honest.
Do it. Duh.
That is pretty incredible, though. That he actually he agreed to doing that. I'm genuinely amazed. But see, I reckon there's a little bit of tenseness there with Trump that I'm not too sold on. But you know, he generally like. It comes across as quite a friendly, likable thing that just happened there, right?
I bet working for him, he's an absolute cocksucker.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Unless, I imagine that he's very meritorious. I imagine he's very concerned about someone's ability. So if someone's very good at making him a lot of money, he's probably very good to them. If someone's not getting his attention in that way, he's probably quite, not contemptuous.
He has to have a good sense of humor. I mean, there's a clip of him and Mayor Rudy Giuliani running around, and Giuliani was dressed in drag, and like the whole thing is
really?
Mayor Rudy Giuliani is
God, why?
Yeah, he's in drag with big fake tits and a wig, and Donald Trump is like he's flirting with him.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is actually awesome.
That's
really
exactly
what I would do.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's actually genuinely funny. But yeah, it looks like Jimmy Fallon's having a great time, doesn't it? And Trump actually looks like he's having an alright time as well. And so this all seems fairly benign. It's just like, well, blah blah. No, 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 no. People are freaking the fuck out, man. They are like, and listen to this, guys. Right? People are justifiably infuriated with how Jimmy Fallon handled Trump. The Tonight Show host, quote, humanized a dangerous man on Thursday night. Right?
Heaven forbid.
Yeah, now, I mean, I am just... I don't even know how to describe this. Like, look, if your complaint is that to humanize your opponent is to destroy or undermine your position, then your position is reliant on dehumanizing your opponents. That makes you basically a fucking Nazi.
Yes,
That's literally what the Nazis did. We know that dehumanization is the first step to violence.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. This is basic psychology too. This is
yeah,
insane.
this isn't something a genius says. This is something that the average person should be aware of, and their entire political campaign is based on the dehumanization of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just admitted it. In the Huffington Post, again, this isn't like Stormfront or something, like for, you know, the regressive SJW freakish feminists or something. No, this is a mainstream fucking publication. It's just
This is incredible. This is like their coming out party. Like, we're not even gonna hide it anymore.
Yeah, we're
not
just
even
open
gonna
bigots. We're just fucking awful people, and yeah, you know, that's basically what they're saying, and it's just like, God, oh man, I'm just so staggered. That's why it's not in this week's episode of This Week in Stupid. Because A, I wanted to spend a bit more time just going into it, and
Sure.
B, it's not funny. You know, the episode was, you know, a lot of funny stuff happened, so I was in a pretty good mood. But this was just like, dude, if you actually think about what you're saying here, this is awful.
Yeah. This is like really intentionally trying to start something that is insanely dangerous.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous fucking idea.
Yeah.
And it has to be countered.
Yeah, and the people who wrote this, like Maxwell Strachan, dude, I want you to tell me that Trump is a human. I want you to tell me that Trump is a person with fears and dreams and goals and people that he loves. I want you to tell me that you understand it's not okay to murder Donald Trump. Because by the way you've written this, I don't think you know that. I think that if someone murdered Donald Trump, you'd be happy about it.
Oh God, this must be really bad.
Oh, mate, it's not good, right? So yeah, and this is one of the least bad ones we have. Okay, I've started on a good note. We're going to go on to the next ones in a minute, and you'll see exactly how much worse this gets, right?
Oh fuck.
So yeah, obviously they go on about how all they can talk about is how the head rub, because yeah, that's the funny thing that happened in it, obviously. Mm-hmm. So Fallon was predictably non-confrontational and willing to work with whatever Trump gave him. Yes, he's a good host, apparently. I don't watch Jimmy Fallon, but okay, fine. When Trump made a joke about fearing what people might do to his hamburgers if they knew it was him before he orders, Fallon leans back and gives out a disproportionately large laugh to the funniest of the joke. To be fair, it was funny, and the funny thing about it was the fact that Trump had that much self-awareness.
Oh yeah, that's what made it funny. That's probably why Jimmy fucking lost it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, literally, like Trump. You would, given the rhetoric that comes out of his mouth, everybody loves me. I'm fucking famous everywhere. It's amazing he said that. You know, you wouldn't think he would think that, but okay, good for him. He did. You know, it's very genuinely good. And so
he's a lot smarter than what many people think. You know, Donald Trump is a fiercely intelligent human being.
Yeah.
Like, of course, he knows exactly what he's doing and exactly how people are going to react to him.
Do you know what I find interesting as well about Donald Trump is that I think he's got more social intelligence than sort of academic intelligence.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, you know, he's an anti-vaxxer, so he's also kind of a fucking idiot. But,
well, yeah,
you know.
yeah, I'm sure he is.
But social intelligence, absolutely. He's brilliant at it.
Exactly. He's very good at talking to people and dealing with people. Because obviously, as a businessman, that's all he's done his whole fucking life. Mm-hmm. And he's very good at, you know, winning them over, apparently, in the case of Jimmy Fallon. But, so they sit there and basically kind of like neg Jimmy Fallon. It's like, well, we shouldn't expect more from Fallon. As some noted after the interview, he's a comedian, not a journalist. He's a mere comedian. His job, first and foremost, is to entertain his audience, not to expose the truth. And Fallon, in particular, has never shown an interest in making enemies. He mostly loves to laugh, so, you know, don't worry about Jimmy Fallon. It's
But
like,
we're
okay,
not allowed to laugh about Trump. That is verboten.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I love the sort of just the denigration of him. Well, it's just Jimmy Fallon. Don't worry about him. It's like, dude, you know, he's interviewing like a presidential candidate. Did. I know it was the other guy who did Hillary, wasn't it? But,
Yeah.
But apparently he's no David Letterman. Oh shit, what have I done there? Okay, I fucked this up. Right, there we go. Yeah, so then it gets to the tweets, but we'll get to that in a bit because it gets worse. So in the Telegraph, Jimmy Fallon labelled Hell's Court jester for hosting Donald Trump and ruffling his hair.
What the fuck?
Now, this isn't the opinion of the Telegraph. They are just reporting this. But that is literally like one of the most popular tweets about this. I'm sure we'll get to it in a second. Jimmy Fallon is accused of showering a racist with love and humanizing a monster after conducting a jocular interview with Donald Trump in which he ruffled the presidential candidate's hair.
Oh my god.
They sound like they're talking about Hitler. And
Yeah.
worse.
Absolutely. Yeah, like, I mean,
Mumra or something.
when somebody talks about Hitler, they're like, he was a dictator, and like that's the criticism they level. I mean, some people might call him a monster, but to just be like, no, monster, not human, supernatural evil.
Yeah, but then you always get someone who goes, yeah, well, he was a vegetarian who loved his dog. You know, and that's true. You know, he's not a monster. He's a human. All of these people are
Right.
fucking humans. You know, there are
And
no monsters.
they allow him some attributable human traits.
Exactly.
You know?
But they're talking like Jimmy Fallon was rubbing Skeletor's head or something. You know, it's absurd. It's just like, God, you fucking loons, right? Okay, let's get to the tweets. This is the one they're talking about. I don't fault Jimmy Fallon for not being a journalist. I do fault him for his willingness to serve as Hell's Court jester.
Jesus Christ, who the fuck is Mark Harris? He's got it verified.
Yeah, he is. Let's have a look. Who is Mark Harris? Mark, I know the fuck I'm talking about. Harris. Books, pictures at Revolution. Right. Okay, so he's a small-time journalist. Not
Yeah,
37,000.
okay.
Maybe he's fair. Well, he's obviously not huge, but he's or like an author of some sort. But yeah, his timeline looks awful.
Yeah.
And then someone like, I will never watch Jimmy Fallon again. That's how strongly I feel about humanizing a monster. And isn't that just... It doesn't just say everything, though? You know, it's like, look, you have to make Trump a monster to sustain your rhetoric. And if it turns out that Trump's not a monster, you have to attack the person who dared at least try talking to Trump.
How dare you allow me to feel any kind of empathy for somebody that I'm ideologically opposed to?
Exactly. You know, I've condemned this man. How could you make me feel bad for him or make me like him?
I don't like having any other feeling but outrage when it comes to this topic. Thank you.
I love this as well. When you are neutral in the presence of racism and bigotry, you are part of the problem, Jimmy Fallon. As in, being in Trump's presence, Trump is the personification of racism and bigotry. He wasn't doing anything racist or bigoted on Fallon's show.
Racism and bigotry has gotten so intense in America that it's congealed together into a sentient mass known as Donald Trump. Fuck
Exactly.
off, God.
I mean, literally, Trump sat there being, you know, quite a nice guest, and Fallon's being quite an amiable host. And this dude's like, you're in the presence of racism and bigotry. It's like, where? What is he supposed to do? Trump's like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, Trump, you hate black people, don't you? And Mexicans. And, God, you're just a big... What should he done? Just point the finger and shout it in his face or something.
You know what I want to ask this person? This is what I'm really curious about, is what's the radius? Like, what's the radius on Trump where if you step into that radius, suddenly you're part of the racist and bigotry problem in the country? Like, is it 6 feet? You know, like... And what happens when he walks down the street? Like, do people just get sucked into, like, being part of the problem? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I assume it's visual range. I mean, but maybe it's audio as well. I mean, maybe if you can hear Trump in the next room, you're morally obliged to burst down the door and start screaming racist at him.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And again, you know, the court jesters of culture. Humanizing a xenophobe is not okay. Oh my God, is this Arthur Chu?
Arthur Chu?
I
Good
assume
old
you know who
Chu.
Arthur Chu is, right?
Oh, I know who Arthur Chu is.
Yeah. Jimmy Fallon's brand is everything is awesome, which is great until everything turns out to include the rise of xenophobic fascism. Well, obviously it includes the rise of xenophobic fascism, you fucking nutsack. It's everything.
Right. It's inclusive, you
Yeah.
bigot.
It's,
What
yeah,
the
it's
fuck
literally
is
the
wrong
most
with you?
inclusive word you can conceive. It's everything.
You know, my favorite meme of last year was the one of Arthur Chu with a dynamite vest, and it says "It ends tonight."
Yeah, oh, yeah, me too.
That was my favorite.
Man, I loved when he was calling in all that. It was well, we assume it was him. Sorry, we don't know it was Arthur. He was just
Right.
freaking the fuck out. And there's this sort of like a minor SJW called Zenistrad that I talk to every now and again. And I saw him tweeting and going, "Look, this is not a good idea. Just stop this now. This is not a good idea. This is why I talk to this guy. He's like the SJWs who are not insane will talk to me, and so I'll talk to them back. And
Sure.
yeah, obviously, and we'll talk about SJWs and discussions across the aisle in a bit, actually, if that's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just amazing to see like this guy just trying to talk him down. Arthur, don't suicide bomb everything. Look, I know you what was the Sikh guy who got the meme made of him with the suicide vest?
Oh God, I can't remember who that guy was.
Oh, I can't remember the guy's fucking name, but I was just thinking, don't get him on speed dial. You know what I mean? Just don't.
Right. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so that was that. But the funniest thing was from Slate. Jimmy Fallon mussing Donald Trump's hair is the point of no return. The event horizon of racism, if you will.
From which we can never escape.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not actually sure, like, what happens now. I mean, they just, like, I don't even know. I mean, what is he even saying that's the problem?
We've fallen past the event horizon now. Not even equality can escape.
Yeah, I mean, they end with what Fallon's interview just demonstrated is that in this election there is no longer a non-partisan space, no non-contentious ground. Holy shit, princess! All of social justice is you saying that there is no non-partisan space, there is no non-contentious ground, everything is political. And it's just like, God, you are literally the latest to that party. You know, there are normies out
Absolutely.
there who know you act like this.
And the lack of self-awareness is amazing here too. You know, they say Fallon's interview demonstrated that in this election there's no longer a nonpartisan space. No. Your article just now
Yes.
demonstrated that there's no nonpartisan space.
Exactly, because Fallon was actually being relatively non-partisan.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
He
know,
was
he
just
was-
asking about him and how he was doing.
Exactly, he's being a polite host. And all you guys can do is take a giant shit on him. I haven't actually looked at his Twitter. I wonder if he says anything about it.
Oh, Fallon? I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
I'm just gonna have a quick look. See if he apologizes.
Oh God, I hope not.
I hope not as well. I really hope not as well. So this is his Twitter. Donald Trump, no. 7th grade, blah blah. Hashtag game. No, he doesn't seem to be
Good.
apologizing. Which
Fallon's smart. He knows if he just ignores it, eventually somebody's going to move on to something else
Yeah.
next week.
It's just a bunch of whining babies on Slate and the Huffington Post and getting into the Telegraph and all this sort of thing. Nothing to worry about. I don't know how these people get anywhere is literally beyond me. But
It's an entire industry.
yeah, right. Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll go on to the Trey Melvin stuff because this is just some of my favourite. And I did cover this in a video, so I'm expecting people to basically know what's going on. But if not, I've got a video called, what is it, Rich Kids Love Social Justice or something.
Yeah, it's a great fucking video. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah, and that will basically and there are links to Jeff's videos in there where they were good videos as well, man. Where
Oh, thank you.
No, that's all right. I wouldn't have liked them and like promoted them if they weren't.
Sure.
Where he kicks us all off, but we'll go into detail in it in a minute. So I'm just going to mute myself. If you want to talk to the chat or something, you go ahead. Or if you want to grab yourself a drink or something. And sorry.
Ooh, yeah.
and,
I'm going to grab a drink real quick. That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll be back shortly, everyone. Sorry.
Be back. All right, well, I'm back. And let's see what's going on while we wait for Sargon. Holy Jesus, this is quite a popular stream. How's it going, chat? I have to say, I've seen a lot of live stream chats in my life, and this has got to be the most cancerous chat I've ever seen. Well done, everybody. Well done. Wow, how does anybody read anything in this clutter? That's amazing. Some people are saying I should plug myself. Hi, my name is Jeff Holiday. I have a YouTube channel. If you look for Jeff Holiday, you'll find me. I make terrible videos. They're fucking awful. They're the worst things ever. You shouldn't subscribe, and you should not look me up, and you shouldn't watch my videos, because they are just pure unadulterated cancer.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Ah, right, good. I'm glad you're back. Right, okay. So, let's...
I am so ready. I am so ready.
yeah. So, do I have to go back into this or what? Probably do have to go back into this. Right, so yeah, we're using this rabbit thing to discuss this. I'm just going to lock the room so we don't get interrupted. Right, okay, Trey Melvin. I'll just have a look for him. Right, okay, so tell me about your interactions with Trey Melvin while I find his thing.
So the basic thing was a friend of mine, one of my Twitter friends, and I have lots of people sending me different stuff to go and look up and comment on, and somebody asked me what I thought of This Is a Commentaries video on white privilege, and so I decided, yeah, you know what, I'll go ahead and I'll take a look. And I started to watch it, and I only got about 2 minutes into it, and I was like, wow, this guy has very little self-awareness, but okay, fine, not that big of a deal. And I was a little tipsy at the time, and I went and I looked at his social blade, and I realized that he makes a shit ton of money being a 3 million sub
yeah,
YouTube.
just for anyone who's not aware, yeah, he's got over 3 million subs, 300 million views. He's a huge channel.
Yeah, and he makes fucking bank.
Yeah.
And so I made one little trolly post that said, it said, somebody told me to go look at this guy's video on white privilege. Wow, look how oppressed he is. Sips Coke, and then a link to his social blade, and that was it. Well, he reposted it, which sent his legion of flower crown Snapchat filter avatar Twitter followers to go and harass me, which was hilarious.
Don't call it harassment.
Oh no, not harass, to correct my ignorant white wrongs.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we call that harassment and you start playing the victim over it, then that legitimizes them when they do it.
That's
So-
very true. That's a good point. Yeah,
I
it wasn't
don't
harassment.
agree that any of it's harassment. I
No.
think it's people. I mean, like you tweeted him, you knew he was huge. It's totally
yeah.
within his rights to retweet you and make a point.
Absolutely.
So you know,
Absolutely.
I don't think that he is harassing you in any way there. Just so you know.
No, I would agree. I would agree. Harassment is the wrong word. He drew attention to my silly little troll, which was fair, totally fair. Whatever,
yeah.
it's cool, no big deal.
Not necessarily wise, but totally fair.
Not really the wisest thing in the world to do. But you know, I wasn't gonna do anything more about it. I was like, oh, that's funny. Okay, whatever, cool. And I just brushed it off and went about my day. And about an hour later, he had recorded a personalized message on Twitter for me over 3.5 minutes long, and in it,
Well,
he
hang
said-
on. Should we just find the particular thing? Should we find the link? Because it was the second half, wasn't it, that we said it?
It was the second half, and I have actually a link for you.
Yeah, if you've got a link, that'd be great. Because it's just the sort of thing that has to be heard. It has to be experienced.
It's incredible.
You can't be told about this secondhand.
Oh my god, it's absolutely phenomenal.
And you couldn't make it up either. You
No.
couldn't make this up.
Here we go. let's see. I'll send it to you in the
Yeah,
Skype
send it
chat.
in Skype.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I can stand in front
You could probably paste it into Rabbit.
Right, what I find really interesting about this is that he uploaded this as oh no, this is yours, right, okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's only a minute, we'll just watch it and then we'll talk about it at the end. This is amazing.
I can stand in front of a police officer. I can commit the same crime as you. And I can stand in front of a police officer. You can stand right next to me. I guarantee you, you won't be the one to come up dead. I guarantee you that, Jeffrey.
It's a personal guarantee.
Oh,
Jeffrey.
yes.
Money does not equal privilege.
And then,
A homeless, poor, white male still has more privilege than I will ever have, regardless.
oh my god, it's like I don't know, 1,000 years of British just class conflict is screaming in my ears at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Just the very idea that you could turn around and say, you know what, all this material wealth, yeah, that's not the privilege, it's the colour of your fucking skin. On the basis of his personal guarantee that you'd be the one who gets shot by the cops. Just
It speaks about his ideological platform too, because that means that privilege is something that can be measured and quantified and then compared against each other. You know, this whole ridiculous notion that people can be reduced from who they are to arbitrary statistics that dictate how they stand on a point scale of
to
privilege.
what they are. That's the thing. It's not,
Yeah.
it's taking away their personality and reducing them to their component parts.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand it. I mean, that's dehumanization, in my opinion. I think that is a perfectly adequate definition of dehumanization, and SJWs do it all the time. And this guy's an SJW. I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah. Without a
this is the thing. He's full on attack with it, which is what these videos are about. But we'll just we'll carry on for a little bit, just to I guess give people a few minutes to maybe try and get their hair back or something. Stop, put their jaws up off the floor. I don't know.
Of the money that I make. I need you to understand that.
I
I
don't,
desperately need you to understand that.
still don't.
But I love that. I love the I need you. And look, he looks like he's going to kiss us.
Yeah.
But I love the I need you to understand that. It's like, why? Why is this a need? Not just I'd like you to understand that this is how it is for me. I mean, why? As if this gives him some sort of moral high ground over you poor white man who's oppressing him.
He has 3 million subscribers. What the fuck does he need from me?
Exactly. Exactly. What the fuck does he need from Jeff Holiday? He needs you to validate his delusion. That's what he needs.
Sorry, bro. It ain't gonna happen.
And you have the temerity to tweet at him that I disagree.
Yeah. How dare you? All capitals typed out.
Yeah. This
it never gets old.
pause. Why?
And in closing,
Like he's made a speech.
what does that say about what does your argument say about every other black American who does not make the same amount of money as I do? Where's their privilege? Where do they stand?
What sort of asinine question is this? He's saying that rich people have privilege. And you're like, yeah, but what about black people who aren't rich? It's like, they're not in this category.
Oh yeah. And then
Wait.
just 2 seconds after this, he says something brilliant.
Does their
incredible.
oppression stand?
Where does their oppression stand? Where is their privilege and where does their oppression stand? Well, gee, Trey, there's this little problem. You see, oppression is oppression and privilege is privilege. Now, they can have different effects on each other, but they don't necessarily have to. One can
Yeah.
influence the other. One, so he's painted himself into this corner too, where he has based his entire argument on the idea that me pointing out his rich boy privilege takes away his oppression. No, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. If he's experienced racial oppression, it's not like that magically disappears just because he's a privileged prick, you know?
Don't get me wrong, it changes the likelihood of
Sure.
suffering from racial oppression,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. It doesn't mean it can't happen. And if it has happened, then don't worry, Trey. I'll just take your word for it, buddy. You know, because I mean, you've never proven any proof of, as far as I can see. You've just told me. But you know, I'll take your word for it. You seem like an honest chap. Yeah, it still doesn't change that you are way more privileged than a poor homeless man, even if he's
That's
white.
it.
You know, because what you're complaining about is freedom from depredations by someone else. Whereas this person isn't having that problem. They're having the fact that they can't get anything positive. The whole world is a depredation to them. They have nothing. They're trying to get something, and you're trying to avoid something. These are not the same fucking thing.
They're not the same thing.
In fact, they're complete opposites, you know? And
it's so fascinating to me. One of the reasons why the homeless thing just pissed me off so much. I mean, despite the fact I was homeless for a while.
yeah,
you know,
I've had homeless friends.
Yeah, and it's rough and it's hard, and you know over 700 people a year in America will freeze to death because they're homeless. You know, and that's really sad too.
And
But the
75% will be men.
yep,
The
75%
really
of them will be
privileged
men.
ones.
38% will be black, which means it is also a very heavily black issue, which he never talks about. But all that aside, we're just talking about homeless white men, whatever. In my town, for a while, before thankfully there started to get more patrols going on, there was a period where some college kids used to play a game. And what they would do is they'd go down to the river where a lot of the homeless people camped in the middle of the night, and they would jump them. They'd beat the shit out of them for fun, you know, for kicks. And then about every other year or so, one of those people that got savagely attacked and beaten was beaten to death.
That happens when you're savagely attacking people.
Yeah, sometimes they die.
Yeah.
I don't know, they just up and die on you. Yeah. Weird.
Really inconsiderate.
Yeah, really, you know, the really, guys, come on, really, guys, you know? Yeah. So, and when he's telling me, that, you know, he sends this fucking video to me, because keep in mind, he sent this video straight to me, like straight to me, on fucking Twitter. And then I'm thinking to myself, you are less privileged than somebody who might freeze to death or be beaten to death by laughing drunk college students.
It's absurd, like, on the face of it. It's just,
Like, look at his face right now in this pause game. That is the face of a person who literally believes somebody who is at risk of freezing to death or being beaten to death is more privileged than him.
It's the face of entitlement, isn't it?
It is.
Look at the entitlement in that face. I mean, that is rich kid syndrome, affluenza, if I've ever fucking seen it. I mean,
Absolutely.
this guy's awful. But anyway, so that's pretty much, because I mean, the rest of this is basically him just pouting.
Pouting and staring blankly at the camera. Yeah.
I can't relate. I certainly wish.
See, it's just him going like, no. And so, was it today? 16 hours ago?
Today.
He put out a video. Dear white people who don't recognize your privilege but seem to recognize mine.
And neither you or I have seen this yet.
Yeah, I've seen the first, I think, minute of this, and I started laughing and was like, Jeff, do you want to come on the stream? Because we're going to have to watch this together, and it's going to be hilarious. So, yeah, I don't actually know what he's going to say in this. It's 13 minutes long, so I'm assuming he's going to say quite a lot.
I think he's going to pause a lot.
Yeah, I imagine that, it's going to be long, steamy silences as he gazes at us intensively. And, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll shag him. I mean, he looks kind of charming. Who knows? You know, who knows where this is going to go?
Look at that view.
Oh, look at this. He's got your fucking tweet on the fucking screen.
Oh my god. Someone told me to go... Oh yeah, that's the original tweet that I sent.
Yeah, that's the original tweet, and he's actually got that there. So he's this has really pricked him. And what I love about this is you really have been like his gadfly to, you know, bite him on the arse and get him like, I am actually really oppressed. Shut up. I don't care how much money I have. Shut up. I'm fucking oppressed, damn it.
I like how he also blinked out my name to try and like avoid giving me any
persona non grata. You should go leave a comment on this video saying.
Oh, I did.
Did you? Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I said somebody got their jimmies rustled.
Oh, you must have removed it or something because I can't see it.
Oh, it only had like 50 50
right.
upvotes.
That's a shame. I'd love to see that being the top comment.
Me too.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, brilliant. I'm not saying privilege doesn't exist. I'm giggling at him schooling privilege when he makes a lot of dollars. Good point. Tell me about your oppression, Trey.
Thrill us with your
Scared, don't really
acumen.
do it, John.
Yeah.
Am I better off than a homeless person somewhere out there in that view? Of course I am. Of course I am.
Well done.
Do I look like an idiot to you? Do you think I acquired what I have acquired being a self-righteous, self-consumed idiot,
Yeah, that actually seems exactly how you've accused.
oblivious to my money and the power of my money?
Jesus, yes, it does seem that way.
I got a point. I got a point
Yeah,
here.
I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you, regardless of
Like-
Sorry, Anna.
what you think.
Go on.
I'm fucking dying. Okay, so just the one he put out just a couple of days ago, number 126, meet Jeeves Stobbs, the creator of the iPhone 7, right? So he goes into his car, he puts on a funny wig, and he makes a little comedy sketch. And honestly, if I had never experienced Trey Melvin, I would have thought, oh, that's kind of clever. Okay, that's kind of cool. But I started thinking about it, and this guy's talking about money and privilege and that sort of thing. That video that he put out maybe 36 hours ago has 108,000 views. Most of his videos get over 1 million, 2 million views. In ad revenue, that is a lot of fucking money.
Stacks of cash, yeah.
This guy has the privilege, he has the platform to put on a wig, sit in a car, and film himself with his phone, spend 30 minutes editing it together, and he will make thousands of dollars off of just that one action.
Yeah.
Not even an hour's worth of work.
And this one, he didn't even get a proper fucking camera for it. He did this one on his phone. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's illegitimate or anything like that. I'm just saying turn it fucking sideways so it's landscape, you cunt. You know, honestly, if you're going to film a video for YouTube, at least do me the fucking favor. I mean, if you were drunk and you were on a night out, okay, fine. You know, but no, you're trying to make a poignant point to Jeff and other people by use of your massive platform. At least put some effort into it, you spoiled cunt.
God.
But yeah, I love this. Directly after the money is not privilege. It's like, okay, then how could you even go as far as say, of course I'm better off than someone, and not suggest that you have more of a privilege in life than they do? Just, what do you think privilege means, Trey? Are you going to answer this for us?
It means white.
Yeah, that's that. Now that is exactly it. But let's carry on. Let him tell us that. Let him tell us that.
I'm gonna tell you, regardless of what you think I look like, I'm not. I didn't get this far being an idiot.
Well, I mean,
To be fair, credit him where it's due. I don't think he's an idiot.
I don't think he's an idiot either. And he made really funny content back in the day. I just the thing that made me kind of like chuckle a little bit is his most popular character is him putting on a wig. Her name is Watermelondria. Is his character's
I
name?
haven't
And
seen
he
that.
yeah, and he puts on this silly wig and he acts like a ratchet, you know. And like, no, you're not an idiot, man. You're not. And you did have some good business sense to make funny videos and get popular. But I mean, like, you know, you did get there by acting foolish for fun and for entertainment. So
Yeah, but that's okay. You know, and that,
No,
that,
yeah,
that
it's
doesn't mean he's
fine,
not
it's
clever or
fine.
anything like that. I think he probably is clever.
I think he's pretty clever.
It's the willful blindness that is the bit that gets me. It's the fact that he actually was prepared as someone who I suspect is probably a millionaire at this point.
Oh, yeah, easily.
To turn around and actually say that a white homeless person has more privilege than he does. Just, I mean, like, and then you're like, yeah, well, I can see how much better I'm doing. It's like, yeah, well, maybe you should try checking some of that privilege. And I mean, it's not my idea; it's your idea, in fact. So, I mean, maybe you should think about doing it. But should we? Let's let him carry on. We're only
Okay, yeah.
Hello.
He's pausing. With
Trey?
Having come this far, I have a responsibility to speak out and to notify you white people to let you know that even that there is power in a homeless white male, white female. There is power in your white skin.
Oh my god. Oh my god, man. What? Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. Okay, hang on. This is just. the homeless. There are loads and loads of videos and loads of like reports and stuff like that of cops beating homeless people to death.
Oh yeah.
And they do it because literally nobody gives a fuck. You know, if the bad cops, not all cops, obviously, but the ones who are inclined to be sadistic to other people, the people who specifically join police forces to do that sort of thing, are the sort of people who beat homeless people to death. And it fucking happens, man.
You know, it's oh my god, this
Fucking
is
the
so
white
so-
power that Trey Melvin is afraid of. So go ahead, go what you can say.
By the power of whiteness.
Exactly. All white people are basically part of the KKK, especially the homeless, because you know
I mean,
you
if
don't lose
there's-
out on that white privilege.
If there's so much fucking power in whiteness, why haven't we made an energy source out of that shit? Chuck a cracker in the furnace, man. We gotta stay warm tonight.
Yeah. Just we could be literally powering cities with our whiteness, but for some reason we don't, because it's easier to oppress the black man, keep a brother down.
It's more fun too, you know.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of your economic status, there is power in your white skin, whether you want to admit it or not, that I do not have. That
Yeah. Okay. Let's just give you this. There is some certain kind of power in white skin. It's not. You haven't defined it, and I'm going to go as far as to say it's not really very great.
Right.
But there might be a very let's assume there might be a small sliver of it. Now let's talk about the greatness of your power of your bank account, which you've already said is huge. You know, you've said, I know my power. Look where I am. It's beautiful. Okay, then stop trying to take a piss on a fucking homeless white person. Why are you doing this, Trey?
Sure. I think I even mentioned in my videos specifically, and they're selectively forgotten. And in his hordes of fans who've been commenting on it, that I'm never gonna say that white privilege doesn't exist, but it's so much more vastly nuanced. Like, what is your economic status as a white person? What do you look like?
And it depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking to an SJW, there is no such thing as white privilege, because they hate white people, and they will treat you like a piece of shit because you're white. So the idea that you have white privilege when dealing with SJWs is nonsense. If you were, say, talking to, I don't know, the white nationalist supremacist version of the alt-right, you would probably have white privilege. I mean, if you were talking to a black person, if it was you and a black person talking to like a neo-Nazi, yes, your white skin is a privilege.
Sure.
But again, entirely
academia?
contextual.
No, absolutely. Academia in colleges right now, white privilege
Doesn't
please,
exist.
Does
Doesn't
not fucking
exist.
exist. Now, maybe if we're in the deep south, and we have to have conversations with authority, there's always the possibility that you'll run into somebody who is bigoted and will favor a white person over a non-white person.
And not
That's
only that, will
entirely-
act on that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, this is another thing. Being a racist, it doesn't make you inherently a bad person, because you might not necessarily act on that racism. And it might not. It might not be out of altruism. It might be because you're like, well, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to lose my job.
Right.
It might be entirely self-interest, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But there is a separation between having it and acting on it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
and
sorry.
even in the context of acting on it, like if somebody says a racist joke, you could be like, well, that was a racist joke. That does not necessarily make the person who said it a racist.
No. In fact,
It's a
the fact that you said it's a joke means they're probably not. If they were a racist, they wouldn't be joking.
Unless they're saying it just to like take the piss and using it as a weaponization to make somebody uncomfortable.
Well,
then
yeah.
sure.
We better not talk about weaponized memes. I'll probably get the NSA on us or something.
Oh god.
But
Nobody
so-
suspected they were a meme cell.
Yeah, I know. Nobody knew. That was the beauty of it. They didn't even know how much damage they were doing. But go on then, Trey. Go on.
black people that my black skin does not have. And it is my responsibility to use my platform and to let y'all know that. And to speak.
Okay, but that's all your platform is these days.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you talk about. Is your terrible oppression of the blackness of your skin from your high-rise apartment overlooking a lovely view. I mean,
Right.
You know.
It's if you want to talk about trying to help black people, how exactly are you helping black people by telling white people how much they're a piece of shit?
Yeah, that doesn't
does-
help anyone.
Is that going to build a house for people who had their shit flooded in Baton Rouge? Is that going to like elevate you know, somebody who's struggling financially to be able to find a better job? Is that going to be able to help fund a school that is barely funded because it's in a poor neighborhood? Is that going to help black people, Trey?
But not only that, is that really going to change the minds of the racists? I mean, if you've just got a white person and Trey Melvin runs up to him and screams in his face how oppressive he is and how much he hates him, it's hardly going to give him a good impression of a black person, just Trey Melvin. And if 1,000 Black Lives Matter people come up and start trashing his neighborhood because, you know, go burn down their suburbs or whatever, that's hardly going to give him a good impression of black people. It's going to create this general impression that black people hate white people, and they can go fuck themselves. You know, they just, you know, fuck you, you're white. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to not be prejudiced in that situation? You know,
Right.
I mean, you'd think it would be so easy for, you know, people who are just like, I don't know anything about any of this, and why are you doing this to me? And fuck you if this is what black people think, and there are loads of black people here saying that this is what black people think. So what the fuck am I supposed to think? You are creating racists.
Absolutely. We're gonna defeat racism by yelling at white people.
Yeah, by being by simply telling them that black people can't be racist. That's how we defeat racism. Then we just need to get to the point where white people can't be racist, and then racism is over. All it requires is everyone to be oppressed, probably
It's
by
even in-
robots.
It's even in the definition, like the definitions of words that they use, like people of color. Like that is one of the most racist fucking
Yeah.
terminologies I've ever fucking
Yeah.
heard of.
Yeah,
My God.
it's like queer as well for homosexuals. It's like that literally means wrong or weird and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was growing up, we were literally taught not to use that word because it literally did have negative connotations, and
Sure.
obviously it does. Queer means bad. It's not a good thing. It's okay. I don't understand why you're denigrating yourselves this way.
I suppose, like, if you want to like devalue a word and like take the power away from it, I can understand it in that circumstance. I mean, at least with queer, you know, like it's like if you get called a freak in school and then you're like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna brace it. I am a freak. Fuck you. I like this. Whatever. It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I
I
can
can
see that.
kind of understand that. But people of color, it's not only just that it comes from the term colored, which we don't say anymore, but it's also because people of color literally means one thing, not white.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
Yeah.
literally it.
yeah.
And so it's by its very nature an exclusionary state or term, and it's like you don't see how that's kind of weird, and you don't see how maybe it's a bad idea to try and lump every fucking race except one in one terminology, whether it's for good or bad. It's still a stupid fucking idea.
This is how, like, in, you know, when you actually had slavery, like, Mexicans actually became white people, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
the
magic.
category of white was different to the category of black, and like you would have, yeah, literally, like, I mean, like the Japanese were white and stuff like this. And it's like, okay, so you're just saying that non-black when you say this, you know, and they're doing the same thing, but with non-white. It's the same mentality, just flipped over.
And it wasn't good then, and it sure as fuck isn't
Yeah.
good now. God
Yeah,
damn.
and Trey, I just want to point this out really quickly, buddy. You can't cure racism with racism. Just putting that out there.
Out against that, so that hopefully one day
Go on.
your white skin and my black skin
Go on.
will have the same amount of power.
Oh my fucking lord. Oh my god, I just can't. Okay. No, you take that on, Jeff.
You know, it's Martin Luther King Jr. did it better, buddy.
Yes, he did.
He did it. He did a lot better.
Yep.
And if you reduce like every single power dynamic that a person experiences in their life to just simply the melanin in their fucking skin, you're a fucking retard.
Yeah.
You're a fucking retard and a racist. Like it
It's
just
insane. I'm just. I'm trying to think of a way of approaching this that isn't just me screaming, Trey, you're a fucking idiot.
yeah.
But it's really difficult to do because it's just. I mean, that is just the. You're not arguing against racism, Trey. You're saying that you're not allowed to be racist, or you're not capable of being racist. You can't oppress enough. That's what you're saying. The power of someone's skin should be zero. Literally, it should have no bearing on what you're talking about. Literally, their skin color is just. How is it relevant? I mean, you can't tell anything about an individual by their skin color, apart from the fact that they have that skin color.
Right, exactly.
Maybe you could probably get an estimation of their cancer risk or something, but it doesn't tell you anything about an individual trait. So the idea that you think that their skin has power and you want to raise black people up to that level just means you want to oppress people. You should be saying, no, we're not. Race isn't the issue. We need to talk about something other than race, because that's the only way it's going to stop being an issue. For fuck's sake.
Right.
You know,
we make everything about race these days.
Oh
too.
man, the Americans fucking do. It drives me crazy. As a British person, it drives me crazy because we make nothing about race, and we're. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe we're too far on the other end because we're like a psychotically anti-racist society that will allow abuses to go on if it's done by someone of dark enough skin. So don't get me wrong. You know, we're not some sort of a higher ideal model to emulate. But
Sure.
I'm genuinely serious. You will not end racism by focusing on race constantly.
Right.
Nothing.
Making climate change a race issue. That's a bad idea too.
God, kill me now. Just fucking, where's the bleach? Man, I tell you.
Oh God.
Trey?
You
Trey.
still there, buddy? Oh, here we go. He's got a flower crown. I love it.
God, he
I love
cares so much, doesn't he?
You know what you won't do?
What do you want? Hello?
You won't silence me.
Nobody wants to silence you. Ain't nobody want to silence you. We don't give a shit. You got 3 million subs. Who the fuck is gonna silence you?
How could you possibly do it?
This poor victim. Look at this poor victimized man.
Jeff, how could you victimize this man? Look at him. He's such an innocent flower child.
What have I done?
Oh, God, Jeff, you criticize this man in public. Look at what this done to him. He's
obviously
comatose almost.
Fucking dying, dude.
Look at his fucking face. Like, this has deeply emotionally wounded him. You wouldn't just accept your privilege. You insinuated I had privilege.
That is the face of a man shaken to the core.
Dude, you don't even know what you've done to this poor guy. This goes on for another 10 minutes, so...
Fuck me dead, Jesus Christ.
I wish he'd... See, normally, for people who don't watch this guy's videos, normally he does, like, literally the most autistic jump cuts in the world, where he's literally just cutting off his own sentences, and it is insanely annoying to watch. But now I can see why he does it, because he apparently has some sort of problem forming coherent sentences.
I don't know if maybe you white people are mad.
How many
Who's
white
mad?
people are you, Jeff?
I don't know. You know, the thing is, I don't know if he puts my tweets up there, but I somebody told me that he does not reference me by name, but somebody said that maybe he might reference Chris.
Chris Reagan.
Yeah, because he did a video on it too.
Oh, this would be exciting, Chris. You've made it, buddy. You're in the big times now. You've got like King of the SJWs telling you how much you're oppressing him.
Don't quote me on that. He might have. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see.
You know, because the coins you were struggling to collect, to pay your last light bill, I spent on this. But that's neither here or there. But I do find it
What
all.
the fuck?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
You white people are mad. Because the coins you were struggling to collect, to
What?
pay your last light bill, I spent on this. But that's neither here or there. But I do find it awfully hilarious, truly, honestly, that the topic of the conversation at hand it's not the oppression of black people. I know you guys don't know, like, the definition of oppression. I know you guys don't, like, really know what that is or what it means. But y'all are like,
Oh, do tell me, Rich Black Oracle. Tell me what the definition of oppression is. I mean, I couldn't possibly look it up in a dictionary. It's not, for example, the prolonged and unjust treatment over a prolonged period of time, is it? I mean, I'm pretty sure that is, because I actually had to look it up to go through this with another SJW, but no, fucking hell.
No. It's mean tweets on Twitter from white people.
I love the dig at poor people. Well, I spent your last pennies on this. Obviously, that's not what they're saying, you cock. That's obviously not their argument.
Collecting coins. Like, how long has it been since this guy was not rich that he now thinks people collect coins to pay their electricity bill?
Well, poor people obviously do this.
And he's sitting there in I imagine that's probably a really nice fucking robe, because if it's like an electrical bill,
Obviously is.
Yeah, it's obviously a nice robe. He's in a fucking regal ass robe with a fucking crown on his head. And he's gonna tell us about privilege and oppression.
Yeah, I do hope he gives us a definition because I suspect I'll be able to use this in future. Please go on, Trey.
Like lollygagging around that topic. The topic here is my money. It is the money that I make. It's the fact that I make money, so apparently I can't experience oppression. Apparently I can't be oppressed or disadvantaged due to the color of my skin because of the money that I make. You know what?
Stop. Okay, stop you there, Trey. The first thing that oppressed people lose is their money.
Yep.
That's the very first thing they lose, because you can do things with money. I'm not saying that you aren't going to suffer from racial incidents, Trey, but that does not necessarily equate to oppression. And the fact that you are so clearly not fucking oppressed means that you're not oppressed. I mean, you're just... observation of you would demonstrate you're not oppressed. So, I mean, what an insufferable cunt, honestly.
Like I imagine this type of idea of racial oppression is usually something akin to like, well, some lady said something racist to me in Starbucks. I'm oppressed. No. I'm sorry. That's not what oppression is. That's absolutely not what oppression is. That's some piece of shit being racist towards you. Oh, I'm sorry that happened. It really sucks, and I wish it didn't happen. If I could make it so that never happened, I totally would. But is that oppression? No. You know, a lot of this comes from, he has a story that he tells about how he was buying his mother a house in the suburbs, right? After he had already bought his own house, apparently, and that somebody called the cops on him for being black in a white neighborhood. That's how he puts it. And that
Which I'm sure this is exactly how it went down.
Oh, of course. And so he had 7 guns pointed at him and was arrested and taken to jail.
How did he survive this encounter?
I don't even know.
I mean, if you were there, would they have given you a blowjob or something?
Obviously they would have. Obviously. Yeah. He narrowly escaped this life.
Yeah.
Well, somebody actually went and dug it up, and apparently he got arrested for suspicion of driving without a license.
So, something really menial then.
Right, extremely menial. Now, why would anybody end up going into jail because of suspicion of suspended license? Now, there's 2 possibilities. Either number 1, he ran into the biggest pack of racist fucking cops, right? And they were like, we don't like you, we hate you, we're going to unjustly pull our weapons out in the middle of the fucking suburbs, point them at you, and we're going to take you to jail.
Yeah.
Or something else happened that incited what otherwise would have been a simple possible fine or a command for a court appearance for a traffic violation, and something exacerbated the situation, and he got taken to jail. Now, who's to say what exactly happened? I'm not going to postulate, but I will say that the strictest case of him making a point that he was ever oppressed is that story. That's what he always brings up.
Is the potential that he was driving around without a license in a fancy neighborhood, buying a second house for his mom, not even for him.
Right.
Just, I would love to buy my parents a house, just so you know, Trey. I would love to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be awesome.
That'd be
good for you, though. Good for you. I think that's a genuinely good thing to do, to buy your mum a house because you can afford to.
And I don't want to shame this guy for making money because he's living the dream, you know.
Yeah. Good on him.
3 million fucking subs,
good
for him.
Just don't have this idea in your head, Trey, that you somehow have it worse than other people based on your skin color, because you have it so much better based on your bank account.
Yep.
You know,
and for the love of God, don't make a video about it.
Don't embarrass yourself on the internet like this. You know, and I realise you have your little echo chamber. I mean, I bet if we were to look, there's oh, look at that. You know, 11,000 up, 1,000 down. So you know, his audience is with him. Of course they would. They like him. You know, so I'm not surprised they're supporting him. But that doesn't mean you're right, Trey. It doesn't mean they're right. It just means you're all hearing what you want to hear. And that's why, I honestly think that's why you got to him, Jeff. It's because you're not telling him what he wants to hear, and he can't refute you.
Oh, I'm the most dangerous person to somebody like Trey.
Yeah.
I'm the most dangerous. I I've literally been somebody who's lived in a fucking war zone. I've lived in a black fucking ghetto. I'm 34 fucking years old, and there is nothing he can do that will ever make me stop. He can't silence me, he can't shut me up, and in no way do I ever have to agree with him.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fuck him, so...
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And he literally has no sexual power over you. And the thing is, this is why you're like his gadfly. You're like the fly that bites him on the hindquarters that bothers him more than anything else, you know? He literally could just swish you with his tail and block you and move on and not give a shit. But this is sticking in his craw. He can't get this out of his fucking mind. This is the third video, and this is now one he's done publicly on his 3 million subscriber YouTube channel. Because
Thanks for that, by the way, Trey. Thanks for that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, it's fucking that's some coverage, which is why you are he who must not be named. But I love that you've become his. He's Steve Shives. You're me to his Steve Shives at this point. I think.
Oh, thank God I finally got one. Jesus.
Yeah, but man, you've hooked a big one. Jesus, look at the fish you reeled in.
It's so beautiful. This is magnificent. My God.
You know what I've always been? I've always been black. You know what I grew up? Yeah, that means I grew up black. You know what I didn't grow up with? Money. You know what the money I have now can do? It can do this funny thing called disappear. That's what money does. I make a lot of money, yes. I'm still learning how to manage it. One wrong move and I can lose all of it tomorrow, but...
Okay, that's really interesting.
It is.
I believe him. That he says he didn't grow up with a lot of money, but the thing is, Trey, I can see something that I think Americans can't see. I can see class. I can hear your accent. I can hear how well spoken you are. I can hear how well educated you are. I can see that you conduct yourself in a certain kind of way, and I know that the hood rats burning down like whatever fucking town it is next week because someone went out and shot a cop or shot at a cop and then got shot in return, they are not of your class, Trey.
Maybe they were at one point, but they're not anymore.
Well, maybe, but I mean, they're of the same skin color, absolutely, but they don't speak well. They're not polite. They don't know how to manner themselves. They aren't in your class. Trey, you might not have been grown up rich, but you certainly grew up with a middle-class family, without a doubt.
Yeah, well, I mean, so on his website it says he was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. And Dayton can actually be a pretty rough place. But he graduated from a performing arts high school, which means that he grew up from, and he graduated from a high school that was not just a regular public high school, where he studied theater, and then he studied business marketing at the business marketing at the University of Cincinnati. So, you know, from the very get-go, like maybe when he was growing up, he didn't have a lot of money. Maybe they were in a shitty part of town.
Sure.
I could only think that he probably had a really good upbringing because he had good fucking parents who instilled in him good values, helped him to work hard, helped him to succeed. And that's great. That's awesome.
That's an important thing to know as well. This is in no way to say that this is not a good thing. This is a fucking good thing, and everyone should enjoy this privilege. But it is a privilege. And it absolutely is a privilege, and you should be grateful for it. You shouldn't then go turn around and say, you know what, this is actually about race, and this is about the fact that I'm black, and the fact that you're white, you homeless white man, for fuck's sake. That really got to me, man. That fucking pissed me off.
Me too. And it's not just a few videos on his channel. It's recently he has done more commentary that is specifically shitting on white people or people saying things that he doesn't fucking like, more than it is his comedy sketches, because he's started to embrace the social justice narrative. And he's 23 years old. He's the prime age to fully immerse himself into this. The prime fucking age. And so what he doesn't understand is that he has this platform, and he believes the best use of his time and his 3 million viewer count is to shit on people rather than to actually change any of the things that he complains about.
Yeah. Imagine the sort of charity work he could do with this sort of platform.
Right. I mean, I have a tiny platform. I raised over $3,000 for fucking needy kids.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck could he do?
Yeah, we raised like I think it was $70,000 or $80,000 for Gregory Allen Elliott for his unjust legal fees. You know, we've actually done some good. What does Trey do? He bitches about white people.
Man, I mean, maybe I will concede that, because he does say on his website that he's I think he says he's a philanthropist somewhere. But I mean, I don't really know if he does.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair though, he might well give money to people. You know, he might do things. You know, I could believe he does. I just can't see any of it.
Right.
So why am I supposed to? I don't see why I would believe that he does do something if it's just not visible in any way.
Right, and he has like one of the most powerful platforms on the fucking planet that he could use to make even bigger of a change, and he chooses to be a dickhead to people, to be thought police, you know?
Yeah.
Like, bravo,
And you can see it's getting to him. I love his attitude, but we'll carry on.
Yeah.
You know what I'll always have, though? You know what I'll always be? I'll always have this. I will always be black.
Yeah, and that's not an argument to me, Trey.
Nope.
Because I don't care about your skin. You know, so you can give me the little pretty boy head thing, I just told you, but that is of literally zero value to me. So you making an argument off of it is of zero value. And I think, and it's such a low value argument because I don't even think there are that many people in America who are racist.
No,
You know, I really don't.
I think there's a lot of people still left that still have some ignorant ideas, but it's
Sure.
changing. It's changing
It
over
is.
time, and it takes a while. But I mean, like, does he hate his skin?
I don't know. I mean, does he go out of his apartment and his rich white neighbours are like, hey, nigga, you know? I mean, what?
Yeah.
Of course not. You know, excuse me, boy, can you go up and get my mail? And he'll be like, yes, massa, and go down and get the mail and go, God, I can't wait for fucking Black Power to kill all the whitey or something. I don't know.
Jesus.
You know, it's... Dude, I bet you receive very little in the way of racist abuse in your day-to-day life. I mean, just insanely small amounts. And honestly, I probably see more of it myself being a white man. But you obviously wouldn't see that, and I don't really care about it, so, you know, I don't make a big deal about it.
We don't weaponize our individual experiences to try and win an argument about politics.
Exactly. Fuck. I mean, literally, I could just Google on Salon and Slate and the Huffington Post the word white, and I would see attack piece after attack piece after attack piece against white people, Trey, in the mainstream media, as in a complete cohesive narrative of how white people are evil, and I still don't buy into it and treat myself like a victim because of it. Just
Nope.
saying, Trey. You know, just saying. You know, I mean,
Just saying,
I would love to go and talk to someone like Ghazi Kojo. I would love to go to America and find him and sit down and have a conversation with him. But I don't think I'd be safe, Trey. I think the fact that I'm white might get me beaten, at the very least, by his friends, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's safe, Trey. I would love to go and talk to you. I'd love to go to a Black Lives Matter demonstration and interview the people there. It wouldn't be very hard. I've got cameras. I'm sure I could probably, you know, if I wanted to, like, right, okay, we're going to do a fundraiser. I'm going to go through a Black Lives Matter process. We're going to interview these people. We're going to talk to them. I'm going to try and get through to them. I'm going to try and, you know, analyze what they say. You know, this is something the mainstream media are never going to do. We're going to actually challenge them on their bullshit. And I'm not brave enough to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be either.
I really, after seeing the Milwaukee where they're beating all the white people, he's white, beat his ass.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be doing that, Trey. You know, but I mean, you know, tell me more about your black skin, please.
And I will always experience the disadvantages that come with being black. An officer will not ask me how much money I make prior to pulling me over for
No, because he'll see your fucking car, Trey. He'll see your nice fucking watch, Trey. He will hear you speak in a clear, respectable tone to him, Trey, and he will know he doesn't have to do these things. He doesn't have to treat you like you're about to pull a gun on him. He can tell you have something to lose. Fucking hell, this guy pisses me off so much. Sorry, this is actually stressing me out. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking this would just be a laugh. This guy is so unself-aware. It's like infuriating.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. So I'm looking up something real fast because I was really curious.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's not very recent. Son of a bitch.
What?
I'm trying to find out what the racial demographic is for the LAPD. Oh no, it is mostly white, but 11.9% are black.
Wasn't Baltimore quite heavily black?
Oh yeah.
And and the court system, the government, like 50% black or something, wasn't it? 49%.
It might be as high as that. It's supposed to be one of the most racially diverse in America.
But there was a report out the other day that Baltimore is one of the most racist police forces in America, and I'm starting thinking, okay, well then we're probably not talking about race.
Well, I mean, potentially, Chris Rock did say the most racist people that hate black people are black people.
Oh,
So
that could be the case. I mean, it could be like internalized racism. I would just be inclined to look for something else because I get the feeling
Right.
these people aren't beating each other based on skin color.
no, it's more than likely just social class and
I think so.
have
And I think this is sort of like this problem that America denies. You know, the legend of a classless society. It's like, I don't really think that exists.
it's still it always comes down to the basic problem of like if it's a class issue but you still have a disproportionate amount of one racial group inside that class, then it becomes a race issue, which it should.
It certainly looks like a race issue if
Yeah.
that's the case, but I don't think necessarily it is because Trey, buddy, I don't think you're getting your ass beat like some black gangbanger, dude. I don't think I don't think the cops are going to treat you when they see you in your shiny BMW driving down, one of these giant broad high streets, and you've got your music blaring, you've got your buddies, and your clothes are undoubtedly going to be fucking expensive, Trey. And when they
Right.
see you, they're going to know you're not the sort of person they need to worry about.
This is the kind of guy who will go and party down on Santa Monica and be
Yeah.
like, well, I hope the cops don't randomly shoot me in the head. Fuck off, dude. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Just fuck off, man. Your biggest worry is a Muslim in a gay club, mate. To be honest.
There you go. There you go.
If I have to be honest with you, Trey, I would be more worried about that if I were you. But keep fearing the white man. Come on, let's go.
For no reason. You know what they will do though? They will ask after pulling me over how much money I make. They'll ask a lot of questions that are none of their fucking concern. How much money you make?
Boy. Because you obviously make a lot of money, Trey.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Obvious.
I doubt he drives, like a piece of shit little
Of course he
fucking
does.
Volkswagen.
I bet it's some fucking giant fucking thing.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living? They can't wrap their heads around how I can drive a car so nice and be
Oop.
Oh, fuck off, Trey. You're not a fucking mind reader. They're probably just like, holy shit, this dude's got an amazing car. He must be stacked.
A black person with money? Shit, I've never heard about that before.
In the
I
current
mean,
year.
shit, everybody in the NFL, they're all white, right? It's
So-
not like the vast demographic of our most popular sport is populated by rich fucking black people. Like, dude.
Yeah. I just
Dude.
want to address the chat. That some guys like money can't fix boss eyes. And I said, yeah, it can actually. That's the power of money. You can pay to get your eyes fixed. If you've
true.
got like sticky out ears, you can get them pinned back. You can get a lot of stuff done with money. And to the triggered libertarians, guys, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have money. I think it's a great thing to have money. It's a
Oh, yeah.
fucking good thing to have money.
I
Everyone
want
should
money.
aspire to have a lot of money because it makes your life so much fucking easier.
Yeah.
But don't sit there and pretend like class isn't an issue. Guys, come on. It's this isn't an attack on you, and it's you're not the ones running around screaming that you can't be you have more privilege than a fucking homeless white man. For the love of God.
this dark. They can't wrap their heads around the fact that someone this dark makes what they make in a year in like a month.
Nice humble brag.
Fuck you, dude.
Maybe
Fuck.
you should phone up Obama and just be like, "Hey, Obama, how much do you make?" I mean, the cop would be like, "What? The president is black and makes money? Motherfucker, this is just an unjust system."
Monthly salary, LAPD officer.
What's the
Let's
annual
see.
salary?
That's
what he was saying. He makes the annual salary.
Oh,
in a
annual
month.
salaries.
Yeah.
LAPD annual salaries. Let's just find this out. $59,000.
Holy fuck!
$59,000 a year. So he's saying he makes 60 grand in a month. 60 grand. That's $1,000 a day.
Well, I mean,
No, that's $2,000. That's $2,000 a day.
yes, but I mean, okay, no. Round of applause, though, Trey. That is fabulous. I mean, you've done it off your own back, of your own moxie. You've created your platform. You've prospered. Good for you. That's great. Don't fucking externalize your bullshit on other people, like say white homeless people. You sit there and go, you know what? I'm fucking lucky. That's all I'm going to say. I'm fucking lucky. And then I'm going to walk away and I'm not going to say anything about any other person based on, I don't know, maybe a racist implication, like they're white. I'm just going to shut my fucking mouth and go, you know what? I do have it fucking good. I'm going to count my chickens and maybe do some of that philanthropy that I put in my Twitter bio.
This
Fucking hell.
motherfucker makes a brand new Mercedes a month.
What a cunt.
Oh my god.
And again, good for you. You know, good for you. But shut your fucking mouth, man.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
They
That
can't
blows
wrap
my
their head around.
Sorry.
That just blows my
I know,
fucking-
man. The reason I had to get the dude I was talking with to tell my friend Frodo what this guy had said, and I tell you, when he finds out how much he fucking earns a month, he's gonna freak. But because this guy for 2 weeks, he lived on my couch for 2 weeks because he was just homeless. You know, he was unemployed, he was homeless. The benefits were not paying out for whatever reason because they're a bunch of cocks under the Tories, and so he didn't have a home. He got kicked out. For the flat he was renting. He couldn't get a single bedroom apartment because they won't just take you if you're on benefits. He couldn't find a job because this was probably about 2009. It was a few years ago now, probably about that long actually. You know, economic downturn, hard finding a job, blah blah blah, and just like all of these factors come together. And so he's like, "Look, dude, can I stay on your couch?" I'm like, "Of course you can, man. Where the fuck? I'm not gonna let one of my friends just sleep in the fucking street or something." And
Right.
yeah, and you know, it just happened. You know, 2 weeks, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, I managed to get somewhere brilliant." You know. The point is, he knows how fucking it is to be poor, and it can be really bad to be poor. And that's not an accusation against rich people, but my God, stop with the privilege thing.
Oh Jesus. It's so amazing. This is incredible.
I mean, I'm almost worried about going on just to see what other revelations are going to come out of this. Just because I'm, but we'll carry on. We'll carry on.
I like how
Which
he's
is
hugging a
perfectly
pillow.
fine.
Yeah, for sustenance, for comfort. Oh, Trey, you're such a big, strong boy.
It's perfectly understandable. But regardless of where our bank accounts stand, they still have all the power.
What?
I
Regardless.
guess the police. I guess he means the police.
Yeah, I assume he does mean white people. I mean,
Oh fuck. Wow.
kiss
They
me,
can
Trey.
still shoot me. They can get away with it. I can be the next Trayvon, the next Michael, the next Eric, the next Sandra. I can be the next hashtag, regardless of the money that I make. And they'll get away with it. And white people such as yourselves will defend those officers. Well, he was being a thug.
None of those people that he listed off were rich.
Yeah, I was literally going to jump to that. Just, Trey, how much did they earn? Fuck all. I thought so.
Wow.
He really doesn't seem to think that wealth is a privilege. I mean, like, he legit doesn't understand that this. I mean, what was the affluenza case that was like last year or something, where the rich kids had driven through this place and just they'd run people down and then
Yeah, they ran a bunch of people over,
and
and
the
he got
judge,
off
yeah,
from manslaughter.
yeah, and it's just like, holy shit, Trey, that would happen to you. That you would a YouTube star. You know,
Yep.
it would be, you know, Trey Melvin, Trelvin, I think I'll call you. YouTube star, you know, terrible accident. Because you're black, you would have the progressive press sniffing your ass before the fucking bodies had hit the floor. And
Oh, yeah.
you think you would just get shot by the cops. You fucking lunatic.
God damn it.
He should have really used that turn signal. He was 12. He shouldn't have been playing with that toy gun. He should have done everything that the officer told him to do. And he wouldn't be dead, you know? Sucks for him. That's exactly what you'll say. That's how you'll defend.
No, there is no defending things like... what was the kid, the 12-year-old with the fake gun?
Tamir Rice.
Yeah, Tamir Rice, that was it. And you see the video, and the cop literally just screams onto the screen, jumps out and shoots the kid with nothing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that-
There's no defending that.
Yeah, it's totally unjust, Trey. Totally. You know, nobody is on the side of that person. Only an idiot would be on the side of that person.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of the time they're not so clear cut, but with that one, like, you take one look at it and you're like, dude.
Didn't even try. You know, okay, it's scary and all that. Yes, I've heard the excuses, but there has to be a certain level of care to the person you're dealing with, or you might be dealing with a 12-year-old with a toy gun. You know, and so you know there has to be simply. If you can't stand the fucking heat, don't be a cop. I guess I don't know, but
Well, you know, there's also what's really fascinating. You know, I'm not a big fan of how lightly we train our officers. There was this article that I read just yesterday, and I'll have to dig it to find it up. It's really fascinating. This former Marine joined the police force, and he was in an incident where he had his gun drawn on a guy. The guy had a gun down by his side, and the guy is yelling at this former Marine saying, "Shoot me, shoot me!" And he's like, "I'm not going to shoot you, dude. Just put the gun down." The guy like twitches his hand, but he doesn't bring it up, and he still doesn't shoot him, and he's trying to talk him down. Well, these other cops pull up, and they pull out their guns, and they fucking just shoot the dude. They fucking like lay him out. that the guy who's a Marine who understands rules of engagement, he's now on suspension for putting his other officers' lives in danger.
Wow.
And like he had complete,
Jesus.
control of the situation. If the guy
Yeah.
raised the gun, he would have been dead immediately.
Of course,
you know?
yeah.
But so the cop culture is a problem. It's
I agree.
totally a problem.
I agree.
But like reducing it to just this, I'm black, they're gonna kill me. No. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I honestly, I totally agree, and I bet that if you were to say not bring up the race of the people who are being, who are the people being dealt with unjustly, manifestly unjustly by the cops, then I bet their incomes are fucking low.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
universally, their incomes are fucking low. I mean, it's not Will Smith's fucking kid that's getting beaten by the cops or shot by the cops, is it? You know,
Right.
these kids are going to be piss fucking poor. And I bet that if you took race out of the equation and put class into the equation, you would literally be looking at a mix, a diverse mix of black, white, Hispanic, Latino, blah, blah, blah. But the overriding factor is they're poor, and that's what cops do to poor people in every society. For the love of fucking God. Because
Exactly.
they're contemptuous of the poor. Everyone is contemptuous of the poor. And the sort of people who are likely to do something and join the cops, that's who they victimise. You cunt, Trey.
It's amazing.
Said officer who shoots and kills me, who pulled me over for no reason. Even had he pulled me over for a reason, had he pulled me over for speeding, and he
Which
were
he
to
apparently
shoot,
did.
end up shooting and killing me, you would find an excuse for him. You would defend him. You would defend his actions.
Who is he talking to? All white people? Come on.
Yeah, but I think he's specifically talking to you.
Oh.
I think he's genuinely talking to you. You would find a reason to defend a cop who pulled him over for speeding, then just shot him unjustly in the face, as if you wouldn't be like that was unjust.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Even for a twat like Trey Melvin.
Even for a twat like Trey, like anybody unjustly killed by the cop. It doesn't even matter who the fuck it is.
Exactly.
But I would say for flat out, Trey Melvin unjustly shot by the police. I would absolutely be opposed to that, and I would be pissed.
Yeah. Basically, Trey, we hope the cops don't even shoot you.
No, well played. Well played.
I imagine he probably just goes on the same fucking thing for the next 7 minutes. Should we finish it, or should we?
Oh Jesus, I don't know.
He might come out with some gems, though. That's the thing. I don't want
might.
to stop now because he might come out. Chat, what do you think? I mean, is he going to come out with any more gems? He probably is, isn't he? Well,
Some of them have to have seen it by now too.
Yeah, we've got to wait for a few seconds for the chat to catch up. But I don't know. Wait for the chat. So I was like, I wouldn't even shoot him. Exactly, kid. You know what I love about that as well is literally it's so insulting, but it's not a threat.
Yeah.
You literally can't take "I won't even" as a threat. I love that about it. It's it's a horrible thing to say. It's so horrible, but it's not a threat. And so now I know you're going. Oh no, he was gonna. Damn it! You didn't threaten me.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's like the ultimate bait, just pulling it just out of the jaws and just like, oh fuck, I can't use this for my victim narrative. God damn it!
It's all fucked up now. Oh my god.
Everyone's
So-
like, continue. So okay, let's do it. Let's.
Yeah, fuck it, let's
We're powering through this, Trey.
His white actions. You know what I told myself growing up? While being black and while experiencing the disadvantages that come along with being black, something that you just simply won't understand. You'll never understand. I'm not saying
And you have no empathy, so it's impossible for you to understand. That's what he's saying. When you say you won't understand, it means you can't put yourself in his position. I mean, you could easily put yourself in the position of a black person that faces slavery by literally saying, right, okay, imagine if everyone around you was black and they enslaved white people on the basis of their skin color. How would that feel? You'd be like, well, shit, that would be awful. I mean, that would be
Right.
like, you couldn't go anywhere without a black person with a weapon treating you like a slave. You know, beating you with a bludgeon or something. You know, and I mean, and a black woman could just point their finger at you and say that white man raped me, and that'd be string you up, no trial. I mean,
Yep.
it's easy to imagine how awful that would be
Right, absolutely.
if you've got
But,
just even a smidgen of empathy. Anyway, fucking sorry, Trey.
Oh Jesus.
God, I just.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's all or nothing, isn't it? I love it. But he's about to,
is.
look. He's telling us something fucking serious here. The tongue. God, it's Jimmy Dore's love child.
Oh fuck. I saw
And
somebody
that
sent me an
you-
animated GIF of him fucking around with his tongue, and I guess it's somewhere in this video. I'm waiting for the cringe.
experiencing the disadvantages that come along with being black, something that you just simply won't understand. You'll never understand. I'm not saying that you didn't grow up with disadvantages. I'm not saying that it was easy growing up for you. I'm saying there's just shit that you'll never understand growing up me. All of the black kids growing up around the country, there's just this shit that you'll never understand. You don't want to understand it. All you want to do is argue with us and tell us that racism is over. What the fuck are you talking about?
How
Okay.
collectivist? How collectivist of you?
Unbelievably so. But what I love about this is look at the tongue as well. Jesus, they're right. Jesus, it's Jimmy Dore's black twin. But I love that he's now very obviously talking to you directly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's talking about your upbringing. I mean, who the fuck's upbringing are you talking about here, Trey? If not Jeff's. You know, if you're not talking about Jeff, who are you talking to?
And he also uses like his own experiences and then black people interchangeably.
Yeah.
Like there's just no difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every black person had exactly the same experience
Yeah.
growing up. You
Yeah,
know,
Robert Mugabe's children are having exactly the same black experience that Trey Melvin's having right now. Just exactly the same.
yeah, Jaden Smith and the child of a strung out crack whore in Detroit had the exact same fucking upbringing because black. Dude,
Yeah.
come on.
But I love this as well. It's like, okay, look, you know, he's like, you know, I'm not saying your life wasn't difficult. You didn't face struggles and oppression or whatever, but you won't know what mine was like. Okay, but you don't know what his was like either. So shut up. You know, it's not a fucking competition, Trey. And for some reason, why do you have to make it about other white people? Why do you have to be like, yeah, this white homeless guy? Why is he coming into it? Why can't you have some empathy for that dude? Man, I tell you, do you know what? I don't really give much money to charity. You know, if there's something going around that's like a charity thing, there's a community thing, I'll put in like $50 or something. But otherwise, I don't give to just like random charities. I want to know where the money's going. You know,
I vet them a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I'm too lazy to vet them, so I'm just like, no, I don't really trust the corporate charity sort of thing. And at the end of the day, they don't need my money. They go around like, you know, various office blocks. You know, they'll get someone to go around with a bucket, and everyone will put a few quid in and stuff like this. They don't need my money. I give my money to homeless people on the street. As in, when I'm walking past a homeless person, I will honestly. I'm not saying this to try and make myself sound good or anything like that, right? I'm just thinking of it from my point of view, because I've been in a position where, and I've had friends in positions where they literally have no money, have nowhere to go, and they don't know what to fucking do. And I'm looking at these people on the streets going, right, okay, at least the people I knew had one up. You know, I had friends. I had people who cared about me. They don't have people who care about them, which is why they are in literally the worst position in the world, right? So I'll get my wallet out, I'll give them like £2-3, literally enough for like a burger. You know, it's fuck all money to anyone really. But I'll do it anyway because A, how much do these guys really get? And B, why the fuck not? I mean, what kind of shit situation is that I can walk past them and just as a human being go, no, I'm not going to help you today. And I see people doing it all the fucking time. And obviously I can't say anything because I don't know what the situation is. There might be a really good reason they don't give money to this guy. They might have literally just walked back the other way and given him some money.
Right.
You know, so I can't, you know, there's nothing I could ever say to anyone else without knowing their situation or anything like that. But it's just like, for Christ's sake, just if you see some homeless dude, and oh man, another thing in the UK that we get is people going, yeah, well, he'll just spend it on drugs. It's like, okay,
That's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe he needed some drugs.
it's like, look at the dude. If he's had a good enough day to get food and drugs, good for him. You know?
Yeah, that's a good day when you're homeless. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. The dude's sleeping under the stars in winter. He can have some drugs. It might help.
It's just, it is so strange, though, like, when this whole thing first started, and he first sent me that personalized one, that he would even bring up homeless, that he would have to go to the absolute extreme of the most dehumanized aspect of modern Western society to say, I have it worse than them.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Literally.
Sense.
And yeah, it literally, I mean, women as well, like, when they're homeless, I can't remember what the exact number is, but they're a lot more likely to get shelter because people think vulnerable woman. No one helps homeless men. They just don't.
The only time you really see a homeless woman, and we have a huge homeless population in my town, the only time you see a homeless woman is when she is severely mentally disturbed. Mm-hmm. And they won't keep her at a shelter because
they can't, probably.
Yeah, she's violent or she just, loses her shit all the time.
So, see, someone in the chat was just like, giving money to beggars just makes rich beggars. It's like, dude, there are no rich beggars.
No.
No, and
not
even
really.
if there are, you know what? I'll take that risk. I'll take the risk that the shabby, stinking man in a pile of rags who's just sat there, downcast, browbeaten by life, with literally, and I can see in his hat he's only got a few quid.
Yeah.
I'll take the risk that he actually has like 50 quid in his pocket or something. I don't, fine. It's only a couple of quid. I'll take that fucking risk, man.
Just in case he needs it. Fuck it.
Exactly. And and I just think to myself, they're but for the grace of fucking God, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's equal. Everyone's on a leveled playing field now. But you know what I said to my skin, to my black skin? I said, skin, you won't define me. While my mother is struggling to...
What? Spends entire video defining himself by his skin and then says skin won't define me.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting move. Let's see if it pays off.
To keep food in our fridge and to keep the lights on, you will not define me.
Hello?
You will grow up and you will see to it that your mother has everything that she needs. You may have to work a little harder for it than your white colleagues, your white classmate.
Oh yeah, you're working really hard for this money, aren't you, Trey?
Yeah.
Only 70,000 views, mate, in a day? Yeah, you're working fucking hard. To be fair, though, 70,000 views in a day really isn't very much.
Is it?
Not for 3 million. I mean, I'll get like 100,000 views in a day.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. But then, to be fair, I don't just record my phones on my fucking my videos on my fucking cell phone in portrait. You cunt.
Yeah. Oh my god. Fucking Jesus.
But you'll get it. And you know what I did? You know what I'm doing?
It. What?
It's making it, paying for stuff.
The only thing my skin color...
That was a look with a cut. He didn't even have anything to say at the end of that.
The only thing...
It's almost like he looked over and it was reading from a teleprompter and it said, pause for effect. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like, shit. Need to put the next slide on or something. Jesus.
My skin color has to do with my money, is that I had to work a little harder to get it. You know what inspired?
At
Bullshit.
YouTube? Yeah, bullshit, dude. At YouTube. You had to work harder at YouTube than a white person?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because
What the fuck?
YouTube is racist now. Not just like... No, everything is fucking racist.
See, he's been at this for 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. How long has TJ been doing YouTube?
10 years?
10 years. TJ has a third of this guy's fucking subscribers.
Yeah. And this guy's been, he's employed by YouTube Red, doing a series on there, and, he just had to work a little harder.
Oh, I see.
I mean, he in his Twitter bio, he calls himself an overachiever. So unlikely overachiever or something. So it's just like, what are you fucking on about?
Of the inequalities that I have faced due to this, there's still so much that I've yet to. There's so much. There are so many things that black people around the world, that black people in this country
Oh, no. Please go around the world, Trey. Go, don't just go, in this country. No, go around the world. I want to hear you talking about black people around the world, Trey. I mean,
let's talk about black people in Equatorial Guinea. How about that one?
Well, I was actually thinking in Rhodesia, if you don't mind, Trey. Maybe we could go to South Africa and see what the black people there are doing and how oppressed they are by the white man. Any takers, Trey? No? I didn't think so.
go that they face simply due to this. There are things that my people face that I'll never understand, that I'll never be able to.
How could there be racial oppression that a black man wouldn't understand if it's based on the fact that you're black?
I don't know how that works. Maybe it's because there's another force, maybe like class or no, that's
money,
ridiculous.
money, Trey, money. No,
That's ridiculous. Come on.
Relate to, that I'll never be able to sympathize with. But you know what I can do? I can't empathize. I can't speak out on those inequalities. I have a platform, and do you know what kind of cunt I would be? What kind of coon I would be to refuse to speak out on those inequalities? To refuse.
Ooh.
What kind of coon would he be? I mean, I know what a coon is. A coon's like, a black man who's cooperating with the white supremacy.
Oh, it just honestly, coon just used to be like, it used to be like any slur against black people that like anybody could use. Usually white people used it, but it now has been co-opted as like an Uncle Tom, a collaborator.
Yeah, how dare you? Like Colin Powell's a coon.
That's why, like, I struggled with when I made my Colin Powell's a coon. Oh my god.
That's true, according to him.
Well, it would be true according to him. When I did my 2-part video on him, I struggled with whether or not I should actually do it or not, and I decided to do it anyway. And the first 10 minutes is a bunch of my black YouTuber friends, because I wanted to give them a platform to reply to him saying that what they believe, because they don't think like him, makes them a fucking coon, makes them an Uncle fucking Tom. And I wanted to give them a shot, and like they were all just magnificent, wonderful YouTubers, and fucking great guys. But I struggled with it so bad because I knew, and I got it the very first day in a few comments. They were like, "Oh, so you can't be racist because you got black friends, huh, Jeff?" I'm like, "Oh, fucking shut up."
No. I hate that argument. It's like, no. Look, racists have loads of black friends. They hang out with black people all the time. Fucking being a racist probably means you don't have friends of different races. I mean, maybe they know a different brand of racism that I've experienced or something. But I mean, generally, when you meet someone who's a racist, they're not hanging around with a diverse cast of characters.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned that way. I expect my races to segregate when they're busy hating each other. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just old-fashioned, and I don't really understand modern intersectional racism. It's a lot more tolerant and diverse than I thought.
Ghazi herds them. Ghazi fucking keeps a pen full of
harem,
white apologists. Time for Woxies.
Time for reparations. Uhuru. I'm amazed this guy isn't part of that, to be honest. But it's probably only a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah.
To let you know, to let white America know the problems that we face. These are my brothers and my sisters. We are a group. We are a team.
Whether they're coons, right? Except for the ones you call coons.
Yeah,
they're your brothers and sisters, as long as they agree with you.
Yeah, as long as they're not coons. I mean, Jesus, coons aren't his brothers and sisters. They're not even black. Christ.
Jeez.
But I love this. This is my group. This is my team. It's okay. This is just tribalism. You're talking. You've chosen the fact that they're black, and you've been like that. Right, with a black tribe. It's like that's kind of old world thinking, Trey.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fucking racist, actually, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just really retrograde. It's the black thing. Why the black thing? I don't know. I've never met any of these people, and there are a bunch of them, I think, coons, but they're my team. It's like, are they a team? They don't look like a team. When you're calling half of them coons, it doesn't look like you're a team. It looks like you're just people with different interests, and your interests aren't like theirs, regardless of the colour of your skin. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Going through this, that, and whether or not I've actually experienced it, I can speak out on it. I will not let my money hold me back. Let my power hold me back. How dare you criticize me for speaking out on the injustice that my people face as a whole? I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not the only human being in this country with this
He's so mad. He's so mad. Oh, God.
So I think we can confirm that the Jimmies are rustled. This appears to be a 7.2 on the Russell scale. This is a severe rustling. In fact, it might be worth taking cover, because Trey's about to give us some righteous indignation on behalf of someone else.
Somebody call FEMA. This motherfucker's about to blow, dude. You know what I'm gonna do next? You know what I'm gonna do next? I managed to rustle the Jimmy so fucking bad with 3 million subscriber YouTuber. Next, I think I'm gonna build a fucking staircase, go up there, and punch out God. I feel powerful enough to do it right now. Oh my God.
Do you know what I love about this though? It's Trey. Nobody is complaining that you're raising awareness of an issue that people are a victim of. Nobody is complaining about that. I mean, there is literally nothing to complain about with that. People are complaining about the fact that you're attacking white people.
Yeah.
In general. You're not even just attacking the cops.
Like when he made videos talking about the cops shooting black people, did I say anything about that in my videos? Fuck no, of course not, because I don't necessarily disagree with him. I might agree with him on some of those points. That's why I didn't criticize him for that point.
And there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's a good thing to raise this awareness.
Yeah. No, it's totally good. It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what you're being criticized for. You're being criticized for being a cocksucker.
yeah, for being a sanctimonious twat while you do it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Just, oh god, this guy is just intense, isn't he? Just imagine what a horrible thing it would be to be at a party and say, hey, this is Trey, yeah, he's got a YouTube channel, he's really successful. All right, what do you do? Long pause. Well, I talk about the black struggle. It's really serious. It's the white man's fault. All cops are racist. And if it was me or you getting arrested, I'd be the one who's shot. And you'd be thinking, oh, fuck me. How did I get the lunatic? Literally, all of the people in the room, and I have to now talk to them. And now, you can't just go, okay, that's great, man, I'm going to go get another drink. Because he's like, this is because I'm black, isn't it? And he'll just stare at you, pouting. And you'll be like, fuck. Go on then, tell me about... Yeah, so you got pulled over and just... Oh, God, that's so terrible. And that'd be it. That'd be your night. That would be your night, and you'd just be sitting there thinking, fuck, I can't even get another drink. What an awful thing that would be.
Jesus.
I'm not the only black.
Sorry, what?
Oh, no. I'm good. I'm ready. My body is ready.
Yeah, he's not the only black
People
person.
face as a whole. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not the only human being in this country with this melanin. I'm not the only black person in this country. And the money that I make does not stop me. It does not prevent me. It does not give me a free pass from facing these same inequalities, the same injustices that other black people face. I don't have to argue with you on that. This is life. I'm sorry that you don't understand it. I'm sorry that you need examples. I'm sorry that you don't believe us. I'm so sorry that you can't just take our word for it and you just think we're overreacting.
Our word? Who else is in that apartment with you, Trey? Is it what, Snoop Dogg or something? Or like, I don't know. Like, is this like a rich black person party? I mean,
this guy is so pissed he can't fucking understand what it is to be black and poor anymore. That's what this fucking is.
Yeah, and the thing is, you'd think you'd remember that. You'd think that you'd think that would be something that would stick with you.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe it's
No,
really
now
something.
it's my oppressions.
But even then, how poor was he? I don't think he was that poor growing up. I don't think he ever went without, for a start.
Yeah, I mean, if it didn't have to go to public high school, obviously there was something. Maybe his mom just worked really hard, and if that's the case, good for your mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. God, he's so.
Am I out in the scorching heat?
Jesus, the jump cuts.
Oh Jesus, that was a jump cut?
Yeah, because he didn't open his mouth. He just suddenly was in the middle of talking. Look.
Oh Jesus.
It's just like, Trey, we just...
This is life. I'm sorry that you don't understand it. I'm sorry that you need examples. I'm sorry that you don't believe us. I'm so sorry that you can't just take our word for it and you just think we're overreacting. Am I out in the scorching heat, picking cotton?
What the fuck?
Oh my god, now we're on slavery.
Oh boy.
Jesus, okay. Alright, go on, Trey.
Putting
Tell
on
me
my
how many
helmet.
slaves you owned. Fucking what?
In making your food and raising your children.
Jesus, I would never trust my children around you. Full stop.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen.
While you separate and murder mine, no. Do I have to sit at the back of the bus?
Jesus Christ.
No?
No.
Can you remember?
Am I forced to use
Is he having a stroke?
I don't know. Oh my god. I have to wonder how high he was when he decided he was going to edit this together.
Oh, all his edits are like this, so he's either always high, or this is just what he's like.
The other ones didn't, like the last few that I saw on his main channel, they didn't have these long, drawn-out pauses of like, I'm sure he thinks this for like dramatic effect, but it honestly just makes him look like a fucking retard.
Yeah, it looks like it makes it look like he doesn't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
different sidewalk, to use a different restaurant, to use a different water fountain than you, to learn in a shittier environment, to attend school in a shittier environment than you. No. Does my mother have...
What are you complaining about? I mean, what is this oppression based on other than there are some cops who aren't very nice?
Right.
And not
Right.
just cops, just there are some people who aren't very nice.
And he's trying to say, like, you know, if you have to go to a shitter school, et cetera, you went to fucking college. You went to a performing arts high school.
Liberal arts
and you're like,
twat.
I can understand the plight of poor black people. No, you fucking can't.
Yeah, you were never in the projects. You know, you probably didn't have to deal drugs for food or something like that, man. For fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
have to duck and hide and sit on the floor of her car simply because she's a little too light-skinned. She's a little too white passing. While her black-ass father, her black-ass stepfather, drives the car out of fear that white people will notice just how light she is and notice just how dark her stepfather is and assume that he kidnapped her. Does she have to do that
The fuck?
What?
anymore?
No?
No.
Like she did growing up. No.
Okay.
She don't have to do that. Before
Yeah.
Yeah, the okay, I mean, like, that's... Jesus, that is, like, so incredibly specific, I can only assume it happened to, like, his grandmother or something. I don't... Like...
And that sucks. That's fucked
Yeah,
up. I mean,
that was terrible in, like, the 1950s.
But that's not something that you have to experience, Trey. Like,
Or have ever experienced in your life, Trey.
ever. Oh my god. Jesus.
Can you even imagine? Like, the cops sat there eating donuts, and then this car drives past, and God, that guy, the wheel's black. Yeah, look how light the girl and the passenger seat is as well. Holy shit, it's a kidnapping!
Yeah.
It's just like, fucking alright.
God, that's fucking...
400 years of that bullshit, 400 years of oppression, of race.
Trey's telling us about his 400 years of repression.
Oh god. Man, I have so much sympathy for him right now.
Honestly, though, I'm impressed at how good his skin looks for his age.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's the secret must be all that male semen.
I'm sure it would do wonders for his skin, I guess.
Well, you saw the picture of him holding a vodka bottle that said "white people tears."
I didn't.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
that-
he's got a
oh,
flower crown.
right.
Oh my god.
I didn't-
I'm gonna find that for you. That is-
Right, okay, so you dip a bit into the mayonnaise, do you, Trey? Okay. Fair, good. You do what you want. You do you. I'm fine with that, Trey.
'Cause the
Racially
common-
motivated.
Sorry?
I was just gonna say because the common like internet vernacular is like a drinking somebody's tears is drinking.
Yeah, yeah,
their
of course,
semen,
yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Oppression, of racially motivated oppression, does not go away. It does not disappear. Cause and effect, my dude.
My dude.
Affect my dude. Racial oppression doesn't go away when racial oppression goes away.
Wow.
That
that's
is his
amazing.
argument.
And I know for a fact now that he is fucking talking to me because I fucking used blank my dude at him like 5 times.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got that lack of self-awareness, my dude.
I love this. This is amazing. This is just so amazing. He literally sits there and lists all of these versions, you know, ways that racial oppression can manifest themselves. He's like, are these all a problem? No. But racial oppression doesn't just go away because racial oppression goes away.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude. I think it might do. I think it might actually in a lot of ways. Sometimes things happen that aren't necessarily based on race traits. Sometimes things happen to people just because other people are cunts. Not even about race. It's just sometimes other people are cunts and they act in a cuntish way. That's
And
what
there
it
are
is.
a lot
Trey.
of cunts out there. Look, I'll be fair, you know.
And sometimes what was his suspicion? Not paying his fucking license or something.
Possibility of driving with a suspended.
Yeah. So if you have a suspended license, or there's a possibility of that, and you know the cops like pick up your license plate and then try and pull you over because of it, that's not race. That's literally not race. I mean, there's no reason to assume racism was involved there. I mean, maybe if you'd fleshed out the story and told us, well, he took off his KKK hood and underneath there was a police hat, And and like, you know, and then he just sit there, put his hands into his belt and went, "Well, boy," and then okay, maybe, you know, but as you left that out, and I'm assuming you left that out not to spare the reputation of the police officer, I'm guessing it didn't happen.
Right. I sent you something in the sidebar of
Oh yeah,
Skype.
yeah, okay. Oh wow, that's
It's magnificent, isn't it?
look at his face. Oh, dude, he so burned us. Look at you, white people. These are your tears. I'm going to drink them. Ha ha.
He did a photo set of them though. Like that's not the only one. He took like a couple other ones of him like chugging white people tears.
Yeah, Trey, I think I've worked out why people hate you and why they're not interested in how oppressed you are if you genuinely think that you can mock your oppressors this way. Because
Right.
I mean, I think by doing this you were admitting that you're not oppressed. You know what I mean? Do you think black men in Jim Crow or in the era of slavery did the same thing?
Right.
Just, you know, they're drinking vodka on the street going, "Oh, white people tears. Look at you, oh, we're so scared because we're white." They didn't do that, Trey.
No, they absolutely did not. And that's a great way to fight racism. There is to mock people in emotional pain. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's based on the race, you know, not
Based
just,
on the race.
Yeah, based on the race, because you know that's really going to stop them from being racist, Trey. Fucking idiot.
That shit still affects us to this day. You still benefit from that shit today. The fact that your parents were able to learn in decent environments, in decent schools. You had textbooks, and mine were not. My grandparents were not. We did not have the same luxuries. That shit affects us to this day. So you integrate our classrooms. What, 30 years ago? 40 years ago. And you say, okay, I guess you can learn with us now. I guess maybe.
So we're like talking 2 generations,
No.
if
Well, I mean,
not more. I mean, like Trey, yeah, I agree that things in the past were shit.
Yeah, they were definitely.
This is why we're all in support of not doing those things now. And they haven't been done, like you say, for 30 years. When are you going to let it go? I mean, it didn't happen to you, did it? You're 23.
Yeah, it never happened to him. Maybe it happened to his mom, but like,
Sure.
This righteous indignation, this fucking fury, this I'm so mad because this happened a while back. It happened a while back, buddy. Seriously, take a fucking smoke some weed.
Yeah,
because this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, dude. I would have a joint with you. I'd sit down, have a joint with you, and we'd talk it out, man. We'd fucking go, look, you know, yeah, stuff sucks, but even if the world is exactly as you paint it, exactly as racist, it hasn't held you back, has it? I mean, you've got a fucking rich apartment. So even if it is as bad as you say, I mean, you can get past it if you want. It's, you know, it's obviously not stopping you from achieving. So, you know, maybe that's more sort of a proactive, like, attitude that people could take, and maybe more people could succeed on the back of that. You know, and maybe you could defeat racism with your own success. So even if they thought, oh my god, let's keep the black people down, black people would be too rich and powerful for them to do it too. It's just a way of protecting yourselves from this ever happening again, isn't it? You know, but all you have to do is be a bit more positive and forthright. Look, and you obviously are quite a positive person. You've succeeded. You can't possibly be the kind of loser who sits there in this sort of death spiral of negativity. You can't be like that because you're doing so well.
Yeah, this is entirely a performance, just so he can
Yes.
like milk this controversy, you know.
Yes.
And what's fascinating to me is he could make a video about literally anything, and make a shit ton of money and be totally fine. He's gonna vent now because he's pissed off about something, but in the end, the people that he hates, the people he thinks are these horrible, oppressive, ignorant ass white people with my minuscule little white brain, he thinks that this is gonna knock me down a peg, that this is gonna be like the thing that destroys me. I gotta tell you, man, my subs and my views have just been going through the fucking roof. So like, he just doesn't even understand how the game's played anymore. He's playing this game, weaponizing his oppression to try and get sympathy and knock down his opponent. And this is like watching somebody jump up and down trying to kick their own ass.
You know, I don't. I think that's not giving him enough credit. I really think that this is something that you have lodged this in his brain, because I think before this he was focused entirely on race, obviously for oppression. You know, and maybe he's aware of like the intersectional sort of gender, you know, cis status, all this sort of stuff. But I don't think that's anything he thinks about. He probably thinks exclusively about the black-white issue. And so you then lodge, and in his mind, I think he's polarized it to the point where he can say, I mean, literally, he can say, I'm a black man, therefore I have no privilege, and a homeless white person has more privilege than me. And if you then lodge this little thing in his head saying, well, actually, you being vastly wealthy means that your life is materially far better than a white person who's homeless, and, you know, whether you're suffering from racial discrimination or not, your life is still, you know, he would trade with you in an instant. He wouldn't even think about it. He would probably...
You really think so?
No, the white homeless guy would trade with Trey Melvin and the black skin.
Yeah,
and
no, absolutely.
They would trade lives with you in a fucking heartbeat. They wouldn't even think about it. They would probably murder you for the opportunity, Trey, to be the oppressed black man that you are. And that's the thing I think is really sticking in his craw. He knows underneath all of the ideological bullshit that turning around and saying that homeless guy over there, he's more privileged than me, is shit. It's complete shit, and he knows it. But he's doubled down. He can't just fucking walk this back. I mean, his own audience would crucify him. You know, his ego would crucify him, and that's why this is lodged in his fucking brain. That's why you are this, like I said, this gadfly on his ass, biting his ass, and he can't get rid of it. And it's got to the point he's giving you 2 videos on Twitter, he's giving you tweets, now he's giving you a full video on his main channel, and I think he's done this. I think he's done this to make himself feel better, so all the people in the comments will sit there sucking his dick over it and reassure him, and say, "Look, dude, you're actually," and they're not even really from those top comments, but this is taking ages to scroll up and down, so it's pissing me off. But that's why I reckon he's done it. That's what I reckon it is.
Do you think he has a whole lot of financial guilt?
Now he does, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, I think he absolutely does. Before, I don't think he did. I don't think he thought about it. I think he really just thought about just skin color. You know, just the fact that his blackness.
Well, everybody's got to be good at something. I guess I'm good at pissing off rich people. That's cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Just maybe we'll give you the same opportunities to score the same jobs as we can now, I guess, even though we've been doing it for years. We've been doing it for years, but I guess now we'll pass the baton to you niggers. How dare you not be grateful?
Jesus, Trey, what are you on about? What, Trey, you're talking to people from the working class. You know, I was lucky that my dad worked his way out of working class and into middle class, lower middle class. My dad was a sergeant in the RAF, right? 25 grand a year. That's not a lot of money. But it's not poor. You know, it's not like really poor. And, you know, because we were in the military, we had cheaper housing. So we had a nicer house than we otherwise would have been able to afford. But we just had to move every 3 fucking years. It was a nightmare.
My dad was U.S. Air Force, so same thing.
Yeah, you know exactly how it is then.
Yep, I absolutely do.
Yeah, but you know, if you're not a decent rank, you're not doing very well financially. And you know, obviously my mum had to work and all this sort of stuff when we were at school, blah blah blah. You're not talking to some sort of fucking plantation owner or the descendant of a plantation owner, Trey. You know.
If there is a huge Illuminati white supremacist like overlord group that's guiding the principles of racial stresses and what black people are allowed to, we're not in on those meetings, bro.
Yeah, Trey, I'm not on that newsletter, mate. I don't get invited to that. You know,
shit.
Jesus, Trey.
Fuck. Can you imagine him trying to say something like this to some like West Virginia toothless motherfucker white hillbilly living in a
some
trailer?
trailer trash. Yeah. They'd just be like, what? They wouldn't know what he was talking about. They'd just be like,
Check your privilege, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What the fuck this guy just say to me?
Yeah, fucking privilege. He'll start looking around for it.
Yeah. What the is that a bird or some shit?
Oh, I'm sorry, poor rednecks. I didn't mean to shit on you. Jesus, Trey, what are you doing?
You expect all that shit to just disappear. You expect that shit not to affect us, to affect our families, our mindsets to this day. You expect that shit to just disappear.
When
Okay,
it
maybe
stops happening, yeah.
Sure. And maybe it affected your family, and maybe it had an effect on the way that you were raised and the principles that your family believed in. But at the same time, nobody is responsible for your mindset but you.
And what annoys me the most about it, though, is that he clearly has quite a good mindset when it comes to business. You know, I
Sure.
mean, he's done so well. He's bought his mum a house. That's, I mean, honestly, that's so commendable. And then it's just like, look, dude, you can say historic oppression all you want, but you being a millionaire shows that historic oppression isn't the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, Jesus, this is fucking wild. Oh my.
The results show us how much that has affected and held you back.
Right, yeah. I mean, I obviously with your over $100 robe and your fucking crown of fucking, oh my god,
Flowers.
you fucking lack a self-aware faggot. Oh my god. Jesus.
Look at that expression. I just love how serious he is about this as well. He's stern. Dude, you're getting a talking to.
I'm so pissed off I can't even poop right now.
The tongue.
Do you? I would be an idiot for not speaking out on this shit. An idiot. A sellout, a coon for not using my platform to educate y'all dumb motherfuckers. Regardless of what I have, regardless of what there is privilege in your skin, white people. If you...
I love that he cuts himself off there. I love how he, regardless of what I've had, he's looking around. He probably like, okay, I better wind that back a bit.
Yeah,
Looking around,
I actually
well,
have a lot of shit around
yeah,
here.
this is fairly privileged, I guess. You know? White people, there's power in your skin.
Looks around at all this expensive ass shit like, shit,
Yeah, I
better
think
not.
I kind of painted myself into a corner with that one.
Let's talk about your white skin now.
But the things, again, I'm really not saying, don't do activism, Trey. That's fine.
Yeah, but this isn't activism. This is fucking shitting on white people.
Exactly. All you're doing is blaming someone. You're putting blame on people who aren't to blame. The only people you can talk to, Trey, are the people who are alive right now, and none of the people who are alive right now were responsible for what happened fucking 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
It's just not their fucking fault, Trey. The people you're talking to are in nursing homes.
Yeah.
They are either in nursing homes or they are dead.
And it's so, oh my god. So like if he just made this video and he replaced white people with Jeff, I honestly would just be laughing more than anything else. I wouldn't have as much of a social point. But really, when he does such a broad sweeping statement, and I never refer to black people as a demographic so that I can paint them into one type of behavior or one type of mentality or one type of thinking, because that's bullshit and that's
wouldn't be
racist
accurate.
as fuck.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
be accurate. Even if
wouldn't be
it wasn't racist or something like that, it just simply wouldn't be accurate.
Right. And so when he goes and blanket statement says all of this ignorant fucking shit about white people, well, I mean, guess who's white, buddy? My mom. And I love my mom. And you're talking shit about my fucking mom. Dude. So, like, did I ever say anything bad about your mom? No.
So
Never.
are we saying crowdfunded Trey Melvin, Jeff Holiday boxing match?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
How many rounds? Come on. How many rounds do you reckon you
He's,
could go
you know,
against?
he's the same height as me, but he's probably in better shape.
You better get down to the gym then, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I better get down.
Yeah, because he's going to beat your ass.
I bet he is. Oh, my God.
And it'll
Like,
go
look
to the charity of his choice, which is probably his mum. So
Oh, my God.
See
that's
that?
sorry.
That's the face of a princess with Jimmy so rustled they would actually jump into an MMA fight.
Look at his fucking face. Look at him. He's about to give you the soul, the deep passion that he feels about other people.
Oh, lay it on me, buddy.
If you don't, there is privilege, there is power in your skin. I'm not educating you to make you feel guilty about that. I'm educating you so that hopefully you will wake the fuck up and realize that and say, wait, this shit ain't over. This fight ain't over, and we have to fight this together. But first, I must realize and accept that I have power. I have the ability. My skin, my white skin gives me the ability to speak out, to fight with.
And your money gives you the ability to go on vacation anytime you want and make $60,000 in a month by recording videos on your phone in your fucking car.
What? Oh my god. Oh
Go
my god.
fuck yourself, Trey
Yeah.
Melvin. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you are honestly, mate. It just come on, Trey. Listen to look what you're doing. Listen to yourself and think: is this just proportional to my rhetoric? Just in any way, shape, or form, dude.
This is brilliant.
Pause.
I
Trey.
can't help that your guilt hurts that much, though. Hurts so much it just keeps you from it. I can't help that. But I've done my job.
That's interesting. How guilty do you feel over your white skin?
How guilty do I feel about my white skin?
Sure.
Oh god. Hang on. Let me think about that. Not at fucking all.
Chris in the chat, 11. No.
11. Yeah, Chris is sending me Snapchats and shit with him wearing a flower crown.
But this is the thing. It's not about feeling guilty. I don't think anyone feels guilty. It's more about being attacked on racial basis.
Yeah.
You know, you white people, white, skin, hate. Is that okay? Well, fuck you. You know, if you're going to sit there and make sweeping judgments about white people and then point at, like, me or someone I know or something like that and expect us to take you seriously, then I have some bad news for you, Trey, because I would take you about as seriously as I would take Nick Griffin. You know, oh, sorry, Americans probably don't know who that is. The leader of the BNP. And things, I've never even heard him say anything that racist. You know, you see him on TV, you see him on panels, and they, honestly, in the British media, you get nothing but fucking, he's a racist. But he never says, black people are this, you know?
Right.
He never says, you know, or, you know, brown people or Pakistanis or something like that. You know, I mean, maybe it's just because he's a politician and he keeps it in, you know, in his pants sort of thing. But they're at least not so brazenly racist when they're just trying to get their points across. You know, they at least have some kind of decorum.
Making broad sweeping generalizations about behavior or actions or beliefs on a group of people simply because of their skin color, that's called racist, Trey Melvin. That's called racist.
And it literally, if you were to type out what Trey had done, go to like a word switching thing on Google Chrome and just swipe out black for white and stuff like that, or say white for Jews. You could submit it to Stormfront, and I bet they'd publish it. In fact, that might be a test. I'll do. I'll start taking SJW articles, replacing keywords like, you know, female for men or white people or something, white for black, blah blah, all that sort of stuff, and just see if I can get anything published in a white supremacist thing that was written by an SJW.
That would be fucking amazing.
I wish I hadn't announced it on the stream now, because now they're going to be looking out for it, I imagine. But fucking hell, that would be such a good idea, you know?
Dude, yeah. Mems is talking about wanting to take his white privilege video and like reread it, like basically doing the swap thing, just to show, like, you know, when you switch the social justice narrative around
It's
and you change
horrible.
the races, it's fucking hideous.
Yeah, you should absolutely do that. And it's not like the Nazis weren't like, oh yeah, well, the Germans are the victim of the Jewish capitalistic international fucking Jewry conspiracy, because that was exactly what they were, the victims. That's the thing, you know, you claim to be the victims of something you can't really point at, and it's just like, fuck's sake. But Leia, he's only got like a minute to go. Let's go.
All right,
let's finish this
start.
straight. Come on.
Job. I can go to sleep at night knowing that I've done my job, that I spoke out, whether I can 100% completely relate to the struggles that my brothers and my sisters face, because I can't, not 100%, no, there's shit, little.
Is that him recognizing his class privilege?
I think that's him just putting in a caveat, so otherwise he can just buy more legitimacy from his black viewers who are not as rich as him.
Yeah, you don't think that's a little bit cynical? You know, maybe he's doing exactly that. You know, maybe, but there is also maybe he genuinely understands that as a privileged, rich black man, he's a lot more privileged than the poor black people, which is presumably why he's bringing that up.
I have given up on at this point in this
Good faith,
after
right?
all of this time in this video, I've completely given up on giving him any more rope to fucking hang himself with at this point. Like, I'm not gonna give him any more fucking credit. I honestly believe that he is completely cynically and intentionally just trying to get enough leverage so that he can't be called out by people who will agree with him because of the racial issue.
The thing is, though, I would agree with you if he wasn't acting in such a butthurt way. If his jimmies weren't so obviously rustled by simply you and one tweet, I would believe that. You know, this is what this has all stemmed from, and he can't let go. And so I think he probably, and you know, I do think he genuinely does think what he's doing is just.
You know,
he is an overacting prima donna, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But he did go to fucking
probably
art school, so...
The more I'm thinking about it, you're probably right. I'm so exasperated with this guy.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
incredible.
No, I can. It's easy to think
right,
that
though.
he is like that. You know, it's easy to think he's just a cynical, cash-grabbing guy. Right?
But then if he was, he probably wouldn't have even made this video.
Exactly. He probably wouldn't have got this far. He'd probably be like, fucking hell, there's a little white twat with a tiny fucking channel who's, fucking hell, he's got me. I better just block him and move on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I'm still not blocked on Twitter, by the way.
Really?
Still not.
He blocked me?
No. He hasn't blocked me. Hell no.
He blocked me? Oh, Trey. Oh, Trey, I'm fucking... I'm going to tweet you with some echo quotes now. That's what I think of you, Trey. Trey Melvin.
Maybe I just don't like to think that I actually have that much power over this fucking guy, but maybe I do.
I think you do. I think you've really wormed your way into his mind. And the reason you're not blocked is because he would then look like he was doing exactly that cynical thing of going, well, you know, he called me out and I'm just going to block him. People are going to look at that and think that's me just ignoring the issue. You know,
right.
I think he recognizes that there is a real issue and he wants to overcome it, but he has to reason his way through it. And this is his reasoning. And it's awful. It's just idiotic. But yeah, okay, come on. It's 30
All right,
seconds.
yeah.
Black kids around this country, grown up around, experiencing that I'll never understand. But I could speak on it, and you won't silence me. You won't shut me up.
Look at the intensity in his eyes. Ooh, he's just gonna stare.
Trey, oh, mate, you're oppressing him. You're oppressing him. You won't silence him. He's fighting the good fight against the oppressor with a channel 1,000th of his size.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Trey. You've got into his head so much that he feels oppressed by you. You are now living in his head. You are renting space here with your words.
I think I'll stay here.
Exactly. And now he feels like the victim. Now he feels like he is the victim of you, and you won't silence him. He will continue bravely speaking out against your reason and logic.
Oh, man. You know, Trey, I think you and I were destined to do this dance forever.
It's so romantic. It's a
It
good
is.
thing he's dressed for it, really, isn't it? Nice flowers. Nice flowers and fucking watch, Trey. But the thing is, what I find most hilarious about it is, like, how, like, you're not even saying that there's no legitimacy to what he's saying. You're just saying, look, what you're saying is wrong. And if
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, well, I won't be silenced, that means that you just want to continue being wrong. You don't want to have to realign your worldview to be more realistic.
Sure.
You know, and so it's like, why? I mean, that's what I mean by an ideologue. You know, that's the sort of person who's at some point their interpretation of the world radically diverges from reality, and they don't want to change it. And so now you, Jeff Holiday, piss poor fucking minor YouTuber from somewhere off on the internet, is oppressing Trey Melvin, 3 million, employed by YouTube, lives in a fucking mansion probably, a fucking palace at the top of a fucking huge apartment block. You won't silence him, Jeff. How dare you think that you would silence him?
Oh, man.
Incredible.
God. To think that I can overcome all of the fucking tissue he can buy with his 60 grand a month and his 3 million strong echo chamber telling him he's right. I can worm my way into his soul enough that he gets this fucking triggered.
That is amazing. Honestly, I mean, you really hit on something there. That's the point. You've literally just burrowed into the back of his brain and you're biting, and he can't get rid of you.
I still just can't believe he fucking made this video.
That's why I know. That's why I know.
Jesus.
Kiss me, Trey. Just do it.
Is he just gonna stare at it for the
Embrace me
rest of
manfully. Oh, okay, we're not watching another one of his fucking videos. Stop. Jesus.
God, kill me a bit.
Well, that's been some fabulous entertainment. Thank you so much, Jeff, for tweeting Trey. I really appreciate how out of proportion he has taken this.
I feel like I've done a service for the world by triggering this dude.
You have provided 4,000 people with what I hope is top quality entertainment. I mean, I certainly found it absolutely hilarious. So,
Well, thank you so very much for inviting me on. This has been a barrel of laughs. This is great.
honestly, it's my pleasure. I've been meaning to do it for a long time, and this was a great reason to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so guys, I've left a link to Jeff's channel in the bottom. He makes fantastic videos. Do you want to tell them about the videos, mate? Tell them about your channel.
They're okay. Yeah, you should check them out. They
See, that's how
probably
you know
sub
they're
to
quite
me.
good, because the first thing is,
You
well, alright.
You shouldn't sub to me. It's a terrible channel. Fuck yeah. I'm the worst.
Yeah, he's you know, sort of a skeptic, concerned with science, reason, logic, if these things are even cool anymore. Jeff does
they're
a
all
lot of that.
played
He does good stuff, and you know all the sources for his videos are in the description. So if you want to see how much shit he's talking, you can go and investigate for yourself, which I think is very important. And yeah, no, it's good to have you on, and thanks everyone for watching.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.